I still have to keep, like, pushing my earbuds all the way in to where I can, 1, hear my own earwax squish, and 2, my eardrums are gonna just pop, which is not great, is it? Anyways, alright. Chris Jan came back to, oh, that was like 6 months ago. Okay, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm on number 4 right now. Alright, let's see what this one is. Forgot how fucking loud this was. Damn. Maybe it's not too bad, because, like, my mic is fucked. This is a killer intro, by the way. Honestly. Holy shit. I, like, literally just woke up, so I'm like, my hair was worse than it is now. Just all over the place.
With Sonichu issue 5, the story strays further and further away from the Sonichu storyline and makes Christian the main character, with the plot of the comic closely mirroring his own life. The comic begins with Sarah's wedding, with Chris attending in spirit, possibly alluding that he didn't attend her actual wedding. The episode also introduces 2 new characters, Megadula Skunk, based on a character created by Megan, and Sailor Mechtoon, indisputably symbolizing Megan herself. He briefly fights off Wes Isley, and at the end of the episode, Sarah thanks him for all the childhood years they spent together and wishes him good luck on his advances towards Megan. Sarah throws her bouquet at him, and he catches it, believing this meant his own wedding would come shortly.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Christian uses his comic to depict his inner monologue and fantasies to the world.
Like straight at you.
I love Megan, yet she's not ready to return or seek it. I'd feel better if I could chat with her on the phone, although she's uncomfortable doing that. Our email communications are okay, but speech speaks louder than typed words.
Sounds about right.
The artwork also changes to an unmistakably anime and manga style, perhaps in an effort to appeal to Megan even more.
Interesting.
In the following episode, Christian has a lengthy discussion with Sonichu about his optimistic hope that he and Megan will get together, despite him admitting a few pages ago that she was not responsive to his advances.
Ooh, he's only been doing. Oh shit! I forgot my controller. God damn it. Okay, I've been traumatized by the shrimp smell in my mom's car that was there for almost a week. Anything that I smell that's almost even remotely like it, like I gag a little. It's terrible.
He is so optimistic that he even stopped using his attraction sign. They're interrupted by the announcement that Mary Lee Walsh and the Jerkops are invading Quickville, so Chris teams up with Megan, Crystal, and the Chaotic Combo. During the climax, Crystal gets trapped in the dark mirror, and Christian comforts a tearful Megan who thought that she had lost Chris for good. His obsession with Megan is made crystal clear, and is further confirmed by the emails she sent to him. I know you know that I hate guys and I hate love, because I told you a million times. So why do you keep getting too close and touching me? I really don't like it at all. I know you said because you have feelings for me and it's hard for you, but I'm sorry, this sounds mean. You really need to try and get over it. If you keep hanging on like that to someone who doesn't love you back, well, it'll only make you more miserable. You need to just accept the fact that I don't and will probably never love you. So you should just take a rejuvenating breath and move on. Advice to which Chris refused to listen.
He was never taught boundaries, obviously.
In an email written just a month later. I'm just a little mad that I have to keep telling you to please stop touching me. It's like you're not wanting to listen to me. I tell you, then you say okay, but eventually you're back to the same tricks, and this time I really mean it. Even my other friends don't like it and think it's weird. So once and for all, could you please stop? You know I don't like it, so why do you keep doing it? It's not like you're gonna try and soften me or something. So, I don't want to have to tell you again, or I might get really angry. Cause you know, unwanted remarks or advances to a girl is sexual harassment, and I don't take that lightly. Chris's not so subtle attempts at getting her attention did not go unnoticed. Sometimes I get the feeling that you copy me to get me to like you. Like Sailor Moon, for example. The only Sailor Moon thing you had was that adult video. And since I told you how much I love it, then you start getting into it. Kinda like My Little Pony. That kind of thing really annoys me. I don't like it much when people get into something right after they find out I liked it first. When you said we had a lot in common, like Sailor Moon and My Little Pony, well, who loved Sailor Moon first? Who collected My Little Pony first? Okay, I know I sound like a spoiled brat, but can you see what I'm trying to say? I don't like being too in common with others. I try to be as different from others as possible.
Thing. Holy shit.
On June 27th, 2006,
oh no,
Patty Chandler was put to sleep.
Did she die?
A day later, at a special service, Christian read out the eulogy, which he wrote himself. My family, furry friends, anyone else present.
There's been an error joining
us today to pay our last respects and wishes to our dearly beloved Beagle Spitz, Patty, who has departed from our world here on Earth to a doggy heaven, where she will be happier, because she will run free and play with all the other dogs who are already having fun up there. I will
Aw.
always remember Patty for all the lovely
was I in
memories she
GTA
had shared
Online?
with
Where
me
was
from
I?
when I picked her out of the litter
Was I doing
at my
slush
Aunt
fund?
Karina's
No.
house in Red Oak, Virginia.
A
The
Candace
time I watched
Cascade or
my old
SUV?
best
Okay.
friend,
New
Sarah
car?
Hammer, take Patty by her front paws and danced a bit. The times I've watched her stand on her hind legs and then rewarded her with a biscuit bone. The times I've just sat with her
Sure,
in the
auto
yard
show-
and
no,
petted
thank you.
her head. I've always given her a bally scratch, where I stroke her head with all 5 fingers, like as if I was gently squeezing a rubber ball. The many times I've fed her a can of food and a cup full of dry food, and refilled her bucket with fresh water so she can drink it and wash her face. When Patty was brought to the vet on that fateful day, I was distraught with fright and concern for
It's
her
not
health.
loading anymore, so.
I stayed with her during her final moments, with a hand on her head and a tear in my eye. When my mother was
there
brought
you go.
the
I'm actually
paper
going
that
somewhere.
gave the doctor
Oh, my
permission to
nightclub.
send her on her way, I didn't want her to be the one to sign it. I raised Patty since she was a 6-week-old
how loud that
pup,
was.
and I
Damn.
wanted to take the strain
Shit,
of
dude.
signing that one-way ticket. It was hard for me, but it was for the best. So I signed that paper with a crying Sonichu face saying, "We love you, Patty." After that, I gave her my final pets: hug, hand-to-paw hold,
I know you
eye
love
contact,
Sonichu very much,
ear
but come
rub,
on.
cheek to fur rub, and I sadly waved her for the final time, and I said, "Goodbye, Patty. I love you."
God, my
As
fucking
I stood
speaker.
outside, I heard Patty's last barks, saying, "I will always love you, Chris. Thank you." But we all must move on with our lives, with our beloved Lucky Mutt in our hearts and in our memories. So, Patty, may your old doghouse and surrounding flowers forever memorialize your blessed heart,
Ow.
your barks at the stars and strangers, and your loyal love that you have blessed upon me and my family and friends.
What jobs can I
Bark
do?
on and rest in peace, our beloved Lucky Patty.
Missions? I haven't done this one.
What would you do for a PS3 and a chance to be on Robot Chicken?
In November, Adult Swim held another contest. This time, encouraging viewers to submit a video wherein they would say what they would do for a PlayStation 3. Christian's video featured the appearance of his
Robot
own
Chicken.
makeshift PS3, which was in fact a PS2 encased in a mix of Lego and pixel block pieces.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, my name is Christian Weston Chandler, a Rutgersville, Virginia.
Damn, he's in like everything, I
What would
swear.
you do for a PS3?
Base Invaders.
What I would do for a PS3?
I don't think I want to do
I'll
these.
tell you what I do. Well, if I had the money, I'd wait in line, like all the other people did with their tents and all that good stuff. I'd throw away the cure for autism if I had it, because I want to get rid of that doggone lifelong curse that I've had. Oh yeah, I would trade in my
I really don't wanna do
PS2
this.
for another thing. Or otherwise, I'd make one from wood if it was hard enough.
I like how he puts a check mark on Dispatch 1 as if I actually finished it.
I made it. Made one from Lego.
I died too many times, I just couldn't do it.
I actually play Guitar Hero on this thing. Thunder Horse.
In the beginning of 2007, Christian started working on a DVD called Yep, I'm on TV, which would become a collection of all his TV appearances and his homemade videos,
Oh my
in addition
God.
to a slideshow of his pictures up to
The
2007.
repo jobs. The repo jobs are fun,
He
I
planned
guess.
to make and release it to only a small selection of people, including Mrs. Sanford, with whom he got in touch via email.
Oh,
You
wow.
may be able to help me in a portion of it now. There will be a slideshow projected from my PlayStation Portable,
Ow.
featuring not only pics of me growing up, but the friends, teachers, and relatives I've known and remembered, either from heart, like yourself, as well as yearbook signatures. As for what had happened during PBCC, in a nutshell, about midsummer 2003, I've realized upon revelation that I needed a girlfriend to make into a sweetheart from the ground up. So, with a sign, which I've later realized that it made me look slow-minded, the R word, I've started my enduring love quest. The Dean of Student Services, Mary Lee Walsh, came out and tore my sign up right in front of me and said, "You're not gonna get a girlfriend, this way or anyway." That shattered my heart and murdered my soul. And it wasn't just her. The policemen and posters in brown, white, and red, aka the jerk-cops, blue and black, are the true police soldiers. Also seriously indented the impression that Virginia is for virgins, not lovers. He talked about his high hopes for a future with Megan, and ensured his former teacher that she would receive a copy of the DVD. 3 days before his birthday, he completed Sonichu Issue 6. The first story, titled Episode 12.5, is strikingly distinct from all the episodes thus far, which stars his recently deceased dog, Patty. The story opens with a creative blend of photographic backgrounds and a hand-drawn Patty who wishes she could speak so she could thank Christian for all he has done for her. The next morning, Christian walks outside to feed her, only to discover his dog has transformed into an anthropomorphic dog-like creature who can talk.
Oh, god
They
damn
spend
it.
some leisurely time together, and she tells Chris that she wishes to roam free outside her pen. Chris leads her indoors and shows her his room, which Patty calls crowded, and suggests that if he got a girlfriend, she would help him tidy up. Using a Nintendo DS, Chris reveals a portal, which opens up to Quickville, and declares the town Patty's new roaming grounds, where she can finally explore with freedom. The final page of the story is a simple full-page tribute to Patty Chandler. The
damn.
next episode resumes where the last comic left off.
Where did I find here?
As
What is
Chris and the
this?
gang debate the best way to rescue Crystal, they come to the conclusion that they need to acquire the 7 Sonichu balls to save her.
think
Green
I'm good on that.
Sonichu, who then envelops Chris in a dark
That
dimension
don't look too
in which
fun.
he announces himself as the Sonichu form of Natesurk, who then
I don't wanna
reveals
keep
his
doing a
true
Fleeka job.
form
Sorry.
and declares that he is, in fact, Reldnak Natsu Natesurk. As the name implies,
What?
he is completely the opposite of Christian, with his semi-bare chest symbolizing his raging homosexuality, which horrifies and offends Chris.
Obviously.
Meanwhile, Black Sonichu announces that he has
Black-
turned his back on Natesurk, and now he is on friendly terms with Chris's
Wha-
friends, and has also all of a sudden developed a romantic
fuck
interest
you.
in Bubbles. Chris and Natesurk transform into their Sonichu forms and battle, until Chris Chan somehow ends up back in Manchester High School. Just as Natesurk is about to deal the final blow, a phantom basketball knocks him unconscious. Chris
What
is
the
woken
fuck?
up by Megan, who tells him that Natesurk fell into a coma after hitting his head on the bleachers and is
Oh,
currently in
Jesus
the hospital.
Christ.
Bionic the Hedgehog reveals himself as the one who wielded the basketball at Natesurk's
Hi,
head.
Tony.
They reminisce about old times and how Chris hasn't drawn Bionic since 2004. Chris laments
Let me
that he
increase
is
my
25
popularity a
years
little.
old, having never even had a date. The dialogue suddenly becomes a promo for his up-and-coming Yup, I'm on TV DVD, which would not be available for purchase. The scene cuts to 10 weeks later, when Natesurk awakens from his coma with a fiery urge to murder Bionic the Hedgehog on February 24th, 2007. Christian celebrated his very special 25th birthday.
Damn.
He held the joint birthday and DVD launch party at what appeared to be the game place.
I know this may sound mean a little, but like, you think after all these years of drawing all his comics, you think he could get better at it? Like, I'm just saying. Hornbill Strip
Others,
Club.
he
Oh, like
recorded
that's the one
his
you can't get
important
into.
message video,
Okay.
in which he reflects on all he has learned over the course of his life.
Okay, wait.
He wished for
I
it to
only need to
become
get
an
two others, my
educational
motorcycle.
video shown in schools, but this goal has yet to be
Ooh,
accomplished.
whoa.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and dudes of all teenagers, as well as the gals. My name is Christian Chandler. I am here.
Well, I'm in a private session,
and
so
y'all are
fuck
there.
you. Yeah,
This
there's no one
message
here.
is for everyone of the present and the future beyond this date, February
Okay.
24th, 2007. My birthday, my 25th birthday.
Wow.
I am high-functioning
Ow.
autistic, and in my 25 years, I have seen and learned so much.
How come
And
you can't
today,
get in this strip
I
club, huh?
intended to share some wise words that I hope each and every one of you will take to heart and allow for yourself and everyone else a better,
Okay.
brighter future.
He encourages his audience not to take up dirty habits like drinking or smoking.
You should avoid at
Vanilla
all
Unicorn.
costs
Oh, okay. They're both at
smoking, drinking alcohol,
they're both at strip
and
clubs.
taking
Okay.
similar icky, dangerous stuff.
Hornbills and then
smoking
Vanilla
will eventually
Unicorn.
cause
Okay.
Cancer.
Vanilla
And
Unicorn's
it'll-
the one you can
you'll be more
access.
likely to get heart attack, viruses, and your life will be cut drastically short.
I feel like I've gotten every woman.
They don't call cigarettes and cigars death sticks from
I feel like I've
nothing
gotten
other
every
than
single
killing you
stripper
slowly.
at the Vanilla
If I
Unicorn.
could, I would take
don't know
every
how.
last ounce of tobacco, put them on a rocket, and shoot them up to the moon.
He encourages boys to buy a My Little Pony figure to get accustomed to the female form and pretend to treat it like the girl they like.
If you're
That's
a young
gross.
gentleman,
Sorry, I don't know why.
buying
I don't know why
yourself
that
a My
sounds
Little
so
Pony
gross
figure
to me, but
of your
it,
favorite
like,
color or whatever.
Why
Now,
My Little Pony?
Stroking the hair of said pony is very relaxing and therapeutic, and also rubbing it against your cheek. That's nice.
sorry,
And
I
also,
cringed.
you could pretend
You
that
just saw me cringe.
the pony is that girl you want to take out too. You want to take out sometime, and talk
Hey,
to
asshole.
the pony like you would talk to the girl.
And he
Ah, well, I
recommends
just
that
knocked down a
girls get
fucking payphone.
Transformers.
Now for the
With a
ladies,
clubber
I
inside.
recommend a good old Autobot from Transformers.
Okay, there you are.
Because you can get to
Yeah,
learn
it's
how
that guy.
to examine the mechanics and variations of each and every Autobot you have. Like you would learn how a man works, and it'll allow you to feel more comfortable in approaching and talking to that boy you've been flirting from a distance, or just been flirting with from a distance. And hopefully, all you have to do is just end up and say hello. I mean, it's not so hard. All you have to do is say hello to the man, ladies. That's all.
Okay, I feel like Chris Chan should not be the one giving us relationship advice, because, like, with how hard it is for him to find a boyfriend-free girl, yeah, I don't know if I want to get relationship advice from him. I don't know.
He encourages girls to be more open to having a relationship with less attractive males, and states the importance of staying with your first mate, neglecting that both of his parents were married
I think it's just
before.
more than your, like,
He finally stresses the
I think it's more
point
than
that
his
it is crucial that
attractiveness.
boys and girls stay straight.
But, like,
Also, keep
editing Zyman here. Yeah, I also got something to say along with this. Sorry, I don't know why I keep, like, turning red every few seconds. I don't know why, but, like, the color balance is really fucking weird for some reason. Like, it looks like a fucking purge alarm. Don't worry about that. So anyways, I'm kind of curious as to, like, if he wants these ladies to lower their standards and be more open to relationships with, like, uglier men and / or autistic men as well. But, like, why can't he do the same for, like, not as pretty girls and / or autistic women? Like, why can't he just do that? Why can't he do that same thing? Like, if he did, he would be more likely to be in a relationship at all. I don't know, that's just what I want to say. Anyways, let's keep going.
Keep in mind that while you're
Hell
playing
no.
with these things,
Fuck no.
you should keep in mind of what your true original gender is. Like
Says
you're learning
you.
about that girl you want to take on a date, young man. Or likewise, you feel more comfortable with approaching
Let me get a
boy
cocaine
and
lockup
just saying hello
if I get
and
enough
checking out
money.
from a distance, young lady. And hopefully in due time or now, each and every one
I'm gonna
of
do-
you will stay
I'm gonna do
straight.
another Cluckenbill
girl
mission.
For boy, boy for girl. Everything else is vice, as said by Dr. Kinsey. Besides, if you stray away from the straight path, it can really jeopardize the entire future of the world and the human race.
This
Interesting.
video would become the final addition to his DVD.
I am
Oh, what?
Christopher Christian Weston Chandler.
Dang.
Live long and shine on in your very own unique
No
way.
way, it's like that easy. Oh,
War is
fuck, I
never
just
the
fell off
answer.
my motorcycle. Sorry.
Peace is.
Dang, it's all the way over
Never
there. Are you
fight.
fucking kidding me?
Compliments will
Let
get
me
you fuzzy
retire,
wuzzies.
actually. No,
War gets you
no.
prickly wicklies, as well as punches that get you those too. Thank you very much.
There
and
you go,
have a
it's right
wonderful
next to
day.
it.
In March, Chris reignited communications via email with his half-brother, Cole Smithy, who had
I
made
know
a
I
career
need a
for himself
cassette
as a
cut.
film
I know.
critic. This renewed interest
I'm trying
was
to
most
get
likely
one,
in order to
but I'm
acquire his
never gonna
address
have enough money
so he
to
could
buy.
send his DVD to
Let's
his
buy
brother.
stupid shark cards. Fuck
I've
them.
talked to Mom, and I
Fuck
quote
shark
her,
cards,
and she
bro.
said, "I do not regret giving
what?
life to Cole. We've had a bunch of good years up till the madness, and all things considered, I still love Cole very much like any other mother would for her son. She really does." Cole's response was brutally cold and honest. "I grew up in an abusive household with Barbara and my former stepfather, Jerry, where physical and mental punishments ran the gambit.
Okay, so in the first part, it was explained, like, maybe just, like, briefly, not, like, much detail, that Barbara was very emotionally abusive to her previous children that she had. So not only just the existence of Chris Chan and his entire life being proof of her being abusive, but also what Cole here is also talking about, kind of, like, proves more that Barbara was and is still, you know, a piece of fucking shit.
From bare-assed beatings to cold showers to bizarre scenarios, acted out with
I
glee
don't
by
want
two deeply neurotic adults.
To do Lamar's
The treatment I
stupid
received
missions.
in Richmond, Virginia was another matter altogether. To raise a child in such conditions is inexcusable, even at a very young age. I knew that they would abandon me. They were both irresponsible and incompetent parents who exposed me to traumas that I would rather not remember. He continued to elaborate on his feelings towards
It's so
Bob.
stupid. Like, if you get
The
caught a
crux of
single
my
time by the
problem
cops,
with
you
Barbara
fail the
comes from
entire
two
mission. What the
sources.
fuck?
The first is Bob's bitter influence
Sorry.
on her, which worked to separate our relationship just as Bob did with his own children, with whom he has no association. In nearly 44
care about
years
the
of
stash
life,
house right now,
I've never
shit.
met a meaner or more reprehensible Republican cur than Bob Chandler. I hope that you will
right,
email
breaking
me
and
when he
entering.
dies so that I can celebrate. Our mutual hatred has never been a secret, and it points out Barbara's proclivity to isolate herself via scurrilous mates. The second and more compelling issue that permanently ruined my relationship with Barbara is the litany of lies she tells anyone who will listen about the identity of my biological father and about her marriage history. He revealed that he employed a private investigator to track down his biological father, who was most likely a man named Rand Coleman Yates, to whom Barbara was married. Go ahead and send your DVD to my address listed below. You and I may be related. but our mother only loves you.
Oh, that fucking line. Jesus Christ. We may be related, but our mother only loves you. Oh my god. What the fuck? Man, that's really gonna fucking hurt Cole. Really interesting how Barbara and Bob had Chris, like, late. Of course, like, after they had their fucking children, who they had abused and abandoned, and thought they would start over with fucking Chris, but, you know, he obviously did not come out any better. They exposed their terrible lifestyle to Chris as well. And of course, like, Chris is obviously not as smart and doesn't see through, like, his parents' bullshit, but, like, the other children do. Which is probably why Chris ended up worse than all of them, as far as I'm concerned. Like, holy shit. It's really crazy when you think about it.
As the months progressed,
God.
Chris and Megan's strained relationship carried on. She told him that she did not appreciate him depicting her original female characters with breasts, and once more ordered Christian to stop touching her.
Ugh, God.
In May, Chris created
I
a
need to
YouTube
continuously
account
just
called
not listen to
Sonichu
Jesus
and
Christ.
uploaded his first video, a fight on the game Soul Calibur of Chris versus Mary Lee Walsh. In June, Megan left for Kentucky, with Chris emailing her frequently, updating her with his activities at the game place and saying how much he missed her. He also mentioned attending an upcoming rummage sale in town, which ended up being reported on.
I bet she misses not being
receiving an
harassed.
honorary mention.
That's what I'm gonna say right now.
Behind Ross, Christian and Barbara Chandler were waiting to shop.
Okay, I don't...
Christian wanted toys and video games, while his mother wanted to look for fabric.
Ow!
In the meantime,
What up?
Sony held the
Idiot.
Chop Chop Master Onions Rap Showdown contest to promote the Parappa the
Can't deal
Rapper
with
video
this shit.
game, which required
What the
contestants
fuck
to
even
submit
was
a
that?
video of themselves performing a song from the game. However, they were limited to only using their own voices, with the use of backing tracks resulting in an immediate disqualification.
I already know what the man
The
looks
winner
like.
would get 2 PSPs and an all-expense trip to
You
Seattle's
look dumb
Penny
as
Arcade
shit.
Expo. Chris was convinced that
Fuck
if he were
off,
to win the
GPS.
competition,
You're
he could
useless.
give one of the PSPs to Megan and then invite her along to Seattle so she could fall in love with him and finally take his virginity.
AP Station. My name is Christian Chandler.
I'd be right
live
there.
in Bucksville, Virginia. I have a PSP. I like to rap. I play with the rapper. I go with you now. The only song I know is Master Onion, which
Oh,
I got
he's right
from a
there.
demo I bought from my friend Megan.
Chris's video was far from polished,
That might be
with
him.
rehearsal probably kept at a minimum.
Kick, punch. It's
What the
all
fuck?
mine.
Oh, it
You
disappeared.
want
Okay.
something? I'm sure you'll
Alright, that was
do
so
all
easy.
things that love.
He inserts various seemingly random video effects, which were at his disposal via the camera he used to film the video, the
What the
PlayStation
shit?
Eye.
Jump and pose, jump, pose. Come on now, watch it follow the na 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 na. Rap, rap, rap.
The following month, Christian found out that his entry made it into the top 10 and was now
Oh,
eligible to the public
rap,
vote,
okay, oh, yeah.
ultimately due to the low number of total entries. He announced his elation online and urged everyone to vote for him on all his websites and social media. He also emailed several people asking for their vote. This included some unlikely candidates, such as his former guidance counselor from PBCC, Susan Hannafin, and his brother.
What
Cole
the
agreed
hell?
to vote for Chris, only after Chris asked their mother about who Cole's real father was. Chris promptly replied that he asked her and claimed that his father was Jack Dale Smithy, which Cole knew to be untrue.
See, in a way, this is kind of supporting the claim that Barbara's a fucking compulsive liar. And to be honest, I don't really believe anything she says, to be honest. But, I don't believe too much that Chris says either. Which, he probably got the lying aspect from his mom. I don't fucking know, man.
Understandably
The fuck?
unsatisfied and upset, he continued to email Chris about how Barbara enveloped his life in lies, closing with an earnest wish
No,
to be
the
informed
Oh
of
my
Bob's
god, don't
eventual
take me
passing.
there, idiot.
Chris intensified his campaign by handing out flyers at the game place, urging fellow visitors to vote.
Clearly, it's
He
not
even
over
resorted to
here.
voting for his own video by making fake accounts, and gave himself a glowing review.
Jesus
From Quick
Christ.
Sonichu,
Fuck.
Video Lucky 7. Such
No, I don't know
honesty
where it
of the
is.
situation and devotion for his lucky girlfriend adds great emotions to his performance. The visually appealing effects added the best humor and biggest laugh I had among the bunch. I enjoyed the fun background of his assumed to be bedroom, and his informative feedback on playing Guitar Hero on PlayStation 3 was truly a wise and great addition. Also, he has nailed the lyrics a cappella, as this brave autistic warrior so creatively put it at the end. Rap, 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 that's a rap. A perfect score of 5 out of 5 stars for his marvelous effort, and smiling at knowing he looked a bit stupid. Voting was closed at the end of July. The polls are closed, and I am anxious to find out if I'm number 1 of the Rappas or not. I really want that trip to Seattle so I can be with my sweet Megan longer than usual and have fun together. I love her. On August 3rd, it was announced that the winner of the Chop Chop Master Onions Rap Showdown was Adam Stackhouse.
Crack, crack, crack the egg into the bowl.
Crack, crack, crack the egg into the bowl.
M-I-X the flour into the bowl.
Chris immediately wrote a strongly capitalized email to Sony, demanding they reconsider.
I don't know, he was more
to impress my
creative.
sweetest Megan and possibly fulfill my dream of getting
In my
married
opinion,
and soon
that
have
guy
a
was
daughter
more
named
creative.
Crystal.
I'm sorry.
Yet now I, a frustrated, high-functionally autistic 25-year-old
Jesus Christ,
virgin,
he's
have been
weaponizing his
balls
fucking
broken
disability.
like I
It's
have through
actually
a big
annoying
chunk
me.
of my life in America's favorite game, Kick the Autistic. Sigh. I had my fantasies of having fun
Where
with
the
Megan,
fuck?
taking her to a really
Sorry, I
extravaganza
cannot find a
destination.
goddamn terabyte
I'm not
now.
rich. Taking a long-wanted tour of the Nintendo of America company tour with her, playing Guitar Hero against the guy in the Parappa costume, jamming with Megan in the hotel room, and possibly our first time in bed. Sigh. Life can be so unfair and f***ing corrupt, but I digress. Take the a cappella rule to the max on those 3 out of 10 videos. Take care. Christian Weston Chandler. He argued that the winning entry used a backing track and had to be disqualified. However,
I don't
since
think
the
he did.
backing music was actually sung in a cappella, the
Yeah,
entry was deemed
like-
suitable. Chris seemingly ignored the rule that contestants could not rewrite the lyrics, which Chris obviously did, thusly disqualifying himself. He directed his
Ow.
anger towards Stackhouse in his blog post on the PlayStation Network's website. This is directed mostly to Adam Stackhouse, the SOB who was the alphabetically first video in the Parappa contest and got wrongfully the big prize. This jerk's video was against the no music rule. His, Surya Butchwald, and Aberluski's video all should have been disqualified because they all had music. He also let Megan know about his sorrow. I'm angry, depressed, and lonesome, all simultaneously. I worked so damn hard. I sent like over 500 messages between MySpace, PlayStation Network, and AOL, and I even made up over 120 dummy email accounts to match with their dummy PlayStation accounts so I could stuff the fucking ballot. Sigh.
Wow, imagine making burner accounts just to vote for yourself and still lose. Like, damn, shit. That's harsh, man.
I
Why would you
failed.
put it on-
So much effort.
Oh, maybe it's
Rather than
under the-
dancing with
okay,
goofy
what the
effects
fuck?
to be even considered. Spreading the word as far and wide as possible. Wasted. And I did it all for you, Megan. I had you in my heart as I chopped the onion a la mode dance. Megan finally let him have a piece of her mind. I just want to say that your behavior has irritated me for the last time. First, I'll start off with saying that I'm glad you didn't win the contest, because I have no interest in going on a trip alone with someone who can't keep his hands off me. I'm not your girlfriend, and I never will be. When I say don't touch me, that means don't touch me. What may seem friendly to you is sexual harassment to me. And I
Exactly.
don't like your Megan obsession. I don't like being a character in your comics. I don't
It's
like
right
how
there.
you made me a character in Soul Calibur and
Why is
Animal
the terabyte
Crossing.
right there now?
That kind of behavior really freaks me out. To release his rage, Christian filmed a video of himself shooting a dart-firing Megatron pistol at a dartboard
Ow,
with a
fuck.
photo of Adam Stackhouse's face on it.
And that is
Oh
how
my
angry
God.
I am at Adam Stackhouse, Aperluski, Rudell, and Surya Butchwald. They should have been disqualified because they had music and more than one person in their Freakazoid video.
As
I don't
time
know,
went
man.
on, his attitude towards Megan changed little, announcing his displeasure at her fraternizing with her friend Christopher. The hugging was one thing, but when I heard the smack of your kiss on his cheek, it started a chain reaction in my head, from OMG to simultaneous infuriation and jealousy,
Okay,
that
there's
I
more
would not do
drones.
anything extreme to Christopher. Originally, I was not fond of him, because it was obvious that he was a homo. Yes, I am a homophobe. I fear them all,
Ow,
and I
fucking
fear
hell,
the
it's always that
tormenting
one thing.
temptations of falling off the straight path.
Oh my
But
God,
then I
stop
mentally,
reloading.
sometimes from a DVD, and if you'll pardon the expression, shove some pussy
Where
in
is
my
it?
face.
Sorry.
I tell you
What the
what,
fuck?
if I ever stoop down to changing my path, I might as well would get a gender change operation. In late October, Daniel Mims, who frequented the game place, covertly snapped a couple of photos of Chris in mid-battle, and his buddy Lucas
There's a gun
uploaded
here.
them onto the anonymous image board, 4chan. A user on the comedy website, Something Awful, who had seen Christian
Yeah?
on the UVA campus, created a thread focused
thank you.
on Christian and his comics, unleashing the Christian myth onto the world. Members debated over the veracity of his supposed actions, and those who have witnessed him in person
I was gonna say
shared their
train.
stories.
This shit is easy.
The fascination around Chris quickly spread to other websites.
Damn, fuck.
The outlandishness
That took
of his
fucking
situation
forever.
motivate fan art
Can I
featuring
steal the
Chris
terabyte?
and
I
his
want one.
Sonichu characters. On November 3rd, in a thread on 4chan, a user named Evan Christopher George was encouraged to send Chris an email showcasing a small selection of fan art. This is some fan art of Sonichu my friends and I have drawn. I hope you enjoy it. The included images were Chris hosting girlfriend auditions with no darkies written on his desk,
No
a short
darkies, I
comic
can't.
about Chris losing his virginity by having sex with Sonichu, a graphic depiction of Sonichu masturbating while
What?
yelling out, "No darkies, jerk up," and Chris and Sonic Thorndike, a character conceived by one Blaze Sonic, having a stare down.
What
Chris's
the
reply
fuck?
was rather unexpected.
That was
Thank
disturbing.
you for your fan art contributions. In constructive criticism, I like the one with me and a girlfriend auditions, as well as my glaring in the eyes of the blue guy. But I'm feeling great detest towards the other two. Sonichu and I are not of that nature at all. If you would like to make it up to me, though, please draw a strip of Rosechu stripping for Sonichu and have him f her.
Seems to be
and
behind
draw
a
Rosechu
track.
masturbating and squirting. Straight, damn it. I will not be veered in any other disgustingly grotesque
Oh,
direction.
dang, I killed that fucker.
Again,
Aw,
most
shit.
nasty
What,
fan
there's someone
arts
up there?
are not appreciated
There's someone
at all.
up there!
Please feel free to share that quote with the rest of the fans. Sincerely,
Sorry.
Christian Weston Chandler.
Sorry, I just
We're
don't
keeping
like
track.
the aim thing on this
Evan
thing.
immediately posted Chris's response on 4chan,
Alright.
and in order to archive
Where the fuck
all
are
future
you?
interactions, Jason
What the
Kindred
hell?
Howell created a page on the satirical
one of
Wikipedia-style
them's right here, at
website,
least.
Encyclopedia Dramatica, solely devoted to Christian, under the assumption that these
It's hard to
people on
fucking
the
find
internet
cover here.
provoking and making fun of him,
I'm gonna
or
try to kill
trolls,
all of them
or
first
genuine
before-
fans of his, he shared the news with Megan.
Ow!
The good news,
Who
though, is
fucking
that
did
I've
that?
had more fans for Sonichu than I thought. Now the worst to bad. I got this email earlier that had a set of 4 fan art of Sonichu and me. While I enjoyed more the spoof of me sitting by a box
I thought
on a
Sonichu was a
sidewalk,
guy.
girlfriend auditions,
And
and
he's
the one with
fucking
me
you in the
glaring
ass.
in the eyes of a blue hedgehog in armor.
Alright, let me take that.
The other 2, in that set of 4, freaked, creeped, and scared the crap out of my head. A lot worse than my freakout over you on Christopher's lap last night. Please keep that in private. In other words, get a room. I sent him a reply with respective criticism. I was
What
infuriated.
the fuck? Why did that guy just fall?
He also found out about an artist on the website DeviantArt who had made Stonichu-related fan art but did not credit Chris in it, and also discovered the Encyclopedia Dramatica page. In the meantime, Evan continued to send Chris more fan art.
Bro, he's still
I'm
shooting.
very sorry I disappointed you, Chris Chan. I drew what you wished. He sent a drawing of a naked Rosechu having sex with Sonichu and finally masturbating and squirting out of her gigantic penis. Oh, and here's more art from more of my friends.
Oh, it's why,
I
shit.
didn't draw any of this stuff though, so if you don't like it, I have no guilt. This email included more graphic content, including Mary Lee Walsh
Mary
and a
Lee
transgender
Walsh.
Rosechu. Alright, I have one
What
last
the
batch
fuck?
of fan art. I'm sorry to send so many to you, but my friends are really eager to share it all. I hope you enjoy. He attached more fan art, a few more tasteful than the rest. Chris replied, disclosing a link to the ED page about him. Evan coyly denied accountability. What? What a horrible page. I'm sorry. I must wonder how they got pictures of our emails. I hope no one's hacking my email account, ignoring security concerns. Christian sent another angry email. Do me a favor, draw a vagina on my Rosechu. Rosechu is a girl. She never had a freaking pickle. If I see one more freaking pickle, and you may spread this quote to other
Bro.
adult fan artists,
Bro
I will
hates
create
pickles.
you in Soul Calibur 3
Bro does
and
not
beat
like
you
pickles.
up like there's no tomorrow. Evan replied with a simple uh-oh and a picture of Rosechu holding a
Come
pickle,
on!
saying, I wish pickles could masturbate and squirt.
Sorry.
And Evan saying, fudge, you're going to beat me up in SC3 now, aren't you? I shouldn't have let our souls
the
get
fuck?
fiercely entangled.
Am I hearing? Thank God I
On
have
November
earbuds
4th,
right now.
someone who called herself Vivian G sent an email claiming that she independently created a similar character called Sonichu and wanted Chris to acknowledge that it wasn't stealing. Evidently, he stated that it was fan art and that she shouldn't keep doing it because his characters mean too much to him. Vivian then sent a caps-locked email trying to convince him to improve himself. Jesus, are you so
You can
high on
die,
your horse that
asshole.
you think it's fan art?
Oh, fuck.
Jesus Christ, man, you are irritating me. You are putting me under more damn stress than you'll ever have. I want to express my goddamn self to the internet, and I find that some prick who thinks he's so great can call homosexuals wrong. And I have 2 lesbian friends who would be offended as by your ignorance, and thinks that going around stalking girls will get you a girlfriend. Newsflash, bitch. You mean nothing to this world, and you will never get laid unless you improve yourself. Your
Yep.
troubles with jerk cops isn't because of them, it's because of you. Fuck off and die.
Facts.
This entire debacle with trolls encouraged Joshua Martinez to toy with Chris, who first met him at James Madison University, where they both received speech therapy and remained as acquaintances. He managed to convince Chris that he regularly schmoozed with movie stars, thanks to his connections to the movie business. He contacted Chris and claimed that he found a girl who would like to meet him, when in fact, he was only trolling him. He even pretended to be this Lori and had a conversation with Chris through instant messaging. Christian reported on his elation in an email to Anna. Her name is Lori Lopez. I chatted with her through AOL Instant Message last night. She was really sweet, and not only did I have a great time getting to know her, but, blush, I got turned on. I know that she works at a car lot, I think. She's 23, brunette, brown eyes, and she is a mix of American and Spanish. If you've watched the movie Into the Blue, the starring woman, Jessica Alba, is an American-Spanish mix as well. He also mentioned her to Megan, and even attached a supposed photo of her. On November 7th, Chris filmed a video pleading those involved with the ED page to be more respectful about him and take it down, and talked in length about his life and what caused him to be in his current situation.
It has come to my attention that I have a lot more fans of my electric hedgehog Pokemon Saichu than I had originally thought. And I thank each and every one of you for your support. And I will draw more comics when I get some positive inspiration or when I feel like it. After all, everybody has a life, so do I. I have a life.
Short trips.
I would like to humbly apologize for appearing to be some kind of sleaze, troll, badass, or whatever adjectives, good or explicit, you may feel about me. Please understand, I'm a 25-year-old high-functioning autistic male with a simple, peaceful dream of becoming a father of a sweet, little pretty girl who I will dub the name Crystal Weston Chandler. Crystal, a name that sounds similar to mine, but it has a nice ring to it.
He claims that his family, on his mother's side, stems from British royalty.
Weston, my mother's maiden name, and a proper English name from royal descent. As a matter of fact, among my mother's side in the ancestral traits, we have been traced down to Daniel Weston, who was on the Mayflower voyage, and beyond him, Anne Boleyn, who was the one of Henry
I'm done buying stuff. Clearly, Barbara was lying to him about being related to Anne Boleyn, because I'm pretty sure Anne Boleyn had no children. I think she died before she could even have any children, so I don't think Anne Boleyn has any direct descendants, so that's obviously a lie.
King Henry VIII's wives, who gave birth to Queen Elizabeth I.
He talks about his upbringing, the struggles of the school system, and his achievements in high school. He defends his methods for finding a sweetheart.
All I did was sit around with a sign by my side that said I was looking for a boyfriend-free girl, 1825, yada yada yada.
And naturally he's still going for 18 as the youngest age, because that's the legal age of consent in a lot of places in America, I'm pretty sure, which is kind of weird. 25 divided by 2 plus 7. The youngest he can go for is 19, I'm pretty sure, according to that equation of taking your age, dividing it by 2, and then adding 7 to it. Well, it said 19.5, so if you round that, it's 20, so really the youngest he should probably go for is 20. So kind of weird he can't go for any women that are older than him or anything like that. He only has to go 18 to whatever age he is. It's kind of interesting.
And I did all that because I have feared rejection and the infinitely high boyfriend factor, because you cannot tell which ladies are paired up and which are not. And wedding rings, that's just a whole different story, because they're married. Because it's not like you give every woman a ring who's already paired up. This is one perspective.
Well, I'm changing my outfit.
So please understand, I am not a violent person. I'm decent. I come from a caring, loving pair of parents. I'm kind, I'm considerate, I will respect your space and your feelings ever so much.
I don't know, your actions say differently, but okay.
Thank you very much for your time and listening, and please remember, I'm an innocent person. Just like most every one of you, I've had my faults, I've had my share of bad times, I have my share of good times. Please understand that.
I'm gonna be on my Assassin's Creed shit.
Care.
With this recent upsurge in interest for Chris, he had the ability to raise awareness for his cause, and maybe even take proper action to prevent further trolling. Or better yet, if he took better care of his online presence, he could have made all of this fade away.
Oh, dang. Oh, am I done with part 4 now? Nice. That was interesting. Jesus. Yep, sorry. He needs to leave Megan the fuck alone, honestly. Read the comments to this. God damn it! Subscribe to GenoSamuel. Ever stray from my path, I might as well get a gender change or operation. I know, when I heard that, I'm like, huh. Interesting. Rest in peace, Patty, the most likable character in Chris Chan's family. Yeah, pretty much. The cats, I didn't even... Oh my god. I realized Chris Chan wasn't trolled by the internet until after his mid-20s. He still managed to get in trouble with police, the mall, and harass Megan. Chris Chan is definitely a tragedy of poor parenting. Cole Smithy's email reveals a hidden mountain of abuse. Damn, yeah, for real. Chris bringing up Sonichu in the middle of a eulogy of his dog is like a YouTuber doing a eulogy for their dead mother, but then says, but anyway, this funeral is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Sounds about right. I find it hilarious that Chris constantly states that he would respect girls, yet couldn't for the life of him respect the one girl that actually talked to him and wouldn't stop touching her. I know, oh my god, it pissed me off. His eulogy for Patty is actually tear-jerking. Possibly the only good thing he's ever written. His obsession is made crystal clear. God damn it, I love it. I think he just humped his pillow right in front of her to release his frustration. Yeah. Patty's goodbye is the most normal thing Chris has ever written. I was half expecting him to plug Sonichu. Edit, never mind. The whole remember your original gender and stay straight age, like, fine wine. Megan being elitist about Sailor Moon and My Little Pony of all things is pretty funny. I mean, how funny it is when he says girls should be more open to a relationship with non-attractive men when he only wants pretty girls. Exactly, like, what the fuck? Jesus.
Less than a week after Christian's Encyclopedia Dramatica page was created, someone
Oh my God.
updated it by uploading an infamous internet-based photograph called Goatsy, which graphically depicts a naked man stretching his anus with his fingers snugly
What
in his
the
rectum.
true brains behind Chris Chan is crazy. Oh my god. I've seen Goatsy before,
His
so that's
orifice
really...
to an inhumane diameter. This upset Chris so gravely that he took it upon himself to edit the page to make himself appear more appealing. For example, a paragraph noting his racism was changed to, oh yeah, he's also old-fashioned. And his idea of a sweet
Old-fashioned is insane.
is cool with adoption, but his dream of his future daughter calls for blood, tears, and Seminole descent.
Seminole.
Not only did he reword sentences and correct historical inaccuracies, but he also extensively added personal information, a tactic which he called information overload. While his intention was to evoke sympathy, it only succeeded in fueling the fire for the trolls.
Jesus Christ.
In a way to reassert his heterosexuality, he uploaded several of his own sexually charged drawings, such as one of Sonichu and Rosechu having intercourse, a naked Mary Lee Walsh masturbating like
Ew.
Sonichu having sex.
No, not Bubbles. Yeah, that's really weird that he's, making fucking Rule 34 of Mary Lee Walsh. That's pretty gross. I couldn't care less if it were your own fictional characters, like in Rule 34, but, a real person? That's a little much.
Called She Came for Quick, which depicted Chris satisfying an unidentified naked woman with his fingers. Those exposed to the picture felt that the woman bore a striking resemblance to his twin
She
sister
looks like
Crystal.
Meg. Oh, I was like, oh no, what? Oh god. Okay, no, that's either Megan or Crystal. Gee, that's scary.
The fact that he captioned the image with, "Your sister has come for me," didn't help.
I think he meant my sister. Is what the fuck?
His obsession with Megan, admitting that he no longer pined for her, and talked about pleasuring himself using his inflatable sex doll, Officer Nasty. He restated his purpose. "I will continue to shove the true facts from my heart and soul down your throats, only until you take this whole page down for good."
Fuck? Why? It's like a full-grown adult at this point. Shit. I'm gonna get some water. Okay, I just got a cup of water. I need to hydrate myself a little. My character's still AFK right now. I made my character fine as hell. He's so
Chris
real.
would go on creating new accounts and further altering the page for the next few years. As the year 2007
That is the
drew to a
ugliest hoodie
close,
ever.
Christian bought an anime-styled sex doll named Kimmy and continued to email Megan, telling her that he would meet Lori soon. And on New Year's Eve, he sent an email to a friend of Megan's, which contained a new freestyle poem called "For My True Love, I Would."
I do find it really weird that he's making this poem to Megan, but it appears that he's sending it to Megan's friends, even though Megan's explicitly told him that even her friends are not okay with the behavior that Chris is doing to Megan, so that's really fucking weird. This is just yet another example of Chris not respecting Megan's, space and, wishes, which is fuck's sake.
For my true love, I treat her tenderly, sweetly, gently, like a summer breeze. I caress her skin gently with my strong fingers. I take her to eat and provide for her to my ability. I start small at McDonald's, then let it get better in due time, if she is willing to allow the pleasure. I'd lay her down, caress her gently, tickle her fancy, have her tickle my fancy, and give it to her
Ew.
with the
Tickle your
learned, lonely
fancy,
experience I've endured. I love you will be shared daily with a French side dish. I am her soldier, to do for her as she sees fit. In January 2008, Christian created a Facebook account, which he used much in the same manner as his other social media outlets, such as MySpace. He managed to befriend several women in his general vicinity and tried to engage in conversations with them. Hi, Christina. I have read your profile and I find you quite interesting. You're pretty, honest, and smart. If you'd like, I'd like to meet you for a soda or coffee and get to know you better over a pleasant conversation. I also hope you will accept my friend request I have submitted earlier. Please reply if it's all cool. Okay, well, I'm 17 and about to be 18 in a few months. But yeah, I love to party and all that good shit, so hit me up.
Oh,
Cool,
girl.
Christina. While I don't know what it means to hit me up, I'll assume it means to talk to you more. I look forward to meeting you in person and learning more about you. And if you need a tutor for a school subject, I can probably help you. I've excelled in math and English subjects.
Okay, it's pretty obvious that he doesn't notice, but if they say they're under 18, maybe stop talking to them as a 25, 26-year-old, whatever. Because, like, your youngest is 18, this person's not even there. And to, like, still help them with, like, school and stuff. I feel like almost every teacher I've seen on To Catch a Predator has used that excuse before, so... I don't know, man!
Yo tom '8 dos años de español en mi escuela secundaria. And I took 2 years of Spanish in my high school. Take care, Christian.
You're all white, look at that shit.
Okay, yeah, well, here's the thing. First of all, I'm 17 and you're too old. And second of all,
I gonna-
you know you're too old for me.
Auto shop?
And third of all, I'm not into all
hear
that
that pays
Christian
really good.
shit, but I would still love to be friends with you. And I don't know very many Christians who like to party, because I'm a hardcore party girl. So, no, nothing like what you may be thinking. I just wanted to be friends with you. I'd wait until you were at least 18 before taking it further. Also, I can party, I just don't get invited much. There's nothing wrong with simply meeting for a pleasant conversation and soda pop. I promise I would not lay a finger on you. Okay, well, a little FYI, I'm on probation and house arrest, and I might get locked up tomorrow for breaking my probation. So let's just take it day by day.
What?
I mean, I don't know you at all, and people might talk about me hanging with some older dude who I don't know. But I do hang at DQ, Dairy Queen, every day after school. So drop by and see if you can find me. Holla, boy. After Christian sent another message divulging...
Wait, is that spot of trouble?
Who can find me? After Christian sent another message divulging more details about himself, communication with Christina ceased. He also engaged in a chat with Christy, who accepted his invitation for a chat over coffee or soda.
Okay, one question I have to ask is why is Christian going for women/girls who have a very similar name to him? I noticed that just now. Like, there's Christina and then there's Christy. That's very funny.
But he ultimately declined her acceptance when she revealed that she was a single mother. He also messaged a Danielle, whose boyfriend in response threatened Chris.
Never mind, there's a Danielle. Okay, you know what, whatever.
On January 20th, Christian pleaded on Facebook for people not to believe what has been written on Encyclopedia Dramatica. There are some cyberbullies who have taken my words and feelings out of context and twisted them into meaningless mockery. Please do not believe those terrible rumors. I am a good man who needs a female sweetheart to soothe my pains from loneliness, stress of social influences, and heartaches. Please help me, so I can help you one day.
What the fuck?
4 days later, he described his near encounter with a lady at the Alderman Library. I was playing Sudoku on my PSP, and I was listening in on this conversation between a couple of cute ladies just to my right. I've enjoyed just listening to them talk about their things. I will not divulge any details, because I am the man who will keep a secret. Plus, I don't know all the details.
Okay.
Anyway, after one of the two left, the gal that stayed sitting next to me talked on her cell in what sounded like Dutch or German. It was the perfect opening for a conversation towards making a new gal pal. I had it in my head. Pardon me, I couldn't help but overhear you chat on your phone. But was that Dutch or German you were speaking? I had the nerve set up. I was raring to say it. But when I started to say it, the tension and my shyness and my autism choked me, literally. I could not even open my mouth to say anything. And she left.
Who's a Sarah here? Don't worry, Chris. I'll come and visit and you can talk to me.
Myself now. Anyway, that is how shy I am. I'm so shy that I just freeze or choke upon starting to talk to a new girl I don't know yet. Through his Facebook updates, it was revealed that he regularly attended Grace Baptist Church in Charlottesville. Chris was told that Lori Lopez was going to go out with Joshua Martinez instead of Chris. He edited the ED page in order to convince the trolls to ruin Joshua's reputation instead.
What
Look,
the fuck?
pal, if you really want to take down someone who has a reputation, consider one Joshua Martinez. Ladies come a-running from at least as far as New York City to his house in Dyke, Virginia. Not just any ladies, but stars like Megan Fox, Jessica
What?
Alba, Jessica Biel, Jessica Simpson, and plenty other whores. He also has been piggybacking on the stardom of Vanessa Hudgens, singing with her in her Latino albums, and starring with her in various HBO
That's so
movies,
not-
and even worse, Transformers 2. He has her and some other gal named Brittany for both of his simultaneous girlfriends. Dual marriage in the works here. He's
What
a
the
more
fuck?
lucky SOB than I can ever surmount to. Ruin his reputation.
Jesus.
Joshua Martinez. P.S. You did not hear this whole thing from me.
Really?
The editors of the page didn't bite.
Someone been lying
In
to your
March,
ass.
becoming increasingly troubled at all the attention Chris has been receiving, Megan requested that he take down all references to her on the internet. However, it was too late. She discovered that she came for quick pick and recognized the woman in it to be herself and confronted Chris.
Yep, I saw that
I didn't
coming.
realize how much of an a-hole I could have been. I was caught up
Holy
in the rage
shit.
from that weekend in November when I did that. I couldn't even see straight, but I have done what I should have done long ago. Inform AOL, as well as other places on the web who can take down offensive websites and pages.
Yep.
I've really shot myself in the foot, and I am sorry. Not only am I mad at myself for being such a complete enraged a-hole, but my rage against those jerks who put that page up in the first place arose with greater flame because my closest friend got hurt emotionally. That's you. I will see to that website's demise, or my name isn't Christian Weston Chandler. Megan, I'm sorry for hurting you. 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 Thinking that repeating that phrase was enough recompense for Megan, his next email focused on his investigation on who took the picture of him at the game place, launching this entire campaign of hate against him. In response, Megan wrote about her shock concerning her depiction. I'm very much scarred by that image, and it will never leave me. And I can't decide what's worse, the image in general, or the fact you intentionally drew it and gave it to the webmaster for that site that you hate so much. Not only have you poured gas on the fire by doing that, adding obscenity to the already horrific site, but you have also embarrassed and humiliated me, and degraded and demeaned me, whether you realize it or not.
Yep.
Okay, well look, I'm unsure how I feel and what to do, so here's what I think. I'd like for you to just completely leave me alone for a while, until I can sort things out myself. You understand? It's not like I hate you, but I don't see you in the same light anymore, so just leave me be for a while. Let me try to recuperate with my few other friends, and maybe we can just start from scratch sometime. Maybe, I don't know. Just depends on how I feel, okay? So please, let me be, and let me see how it goes, okay? Completely misunderstanding her point, Chris thought that the drawing upset her so because she was naive about sex and didn't truly understand what was being depicted, ironically revealing his own ignorance regarding sex. May or may not have had much exposure to sexual images
Probably
as
by
I've
a
had,
workshop,
so the idea of a hand job, which was the act drawn there as part of outer course versus intercourse, was a surprise to you.
I think she was aware of what the fuck that is. Hence why she's so horrified by the picture. Come on! Actually listen to her words! Maybe she'll respect you for once.
I'm sorry. If it helps put things into perspective, I can recommend finding information on the internet through this educational website I found through adameve.com. Or I recommend renting The 40-Year-Old Virgin. That movie touches on some of the issues around sex and how it can really frustrate an older virgin who hasn't had the pleasure yet. Or I can loan you my copy of The 40-Year-Old Virgin. The point is, allowing yourself more exposure to sex acts to make yourself feel more comfortable with that fact of life. As for the drawings, while I have shoved the text information down your throat in an attempt to drown them in submission, there were too many images of penises, on there. I drew drawings promoting vaginas to go against those dickheads. I did the drawing of Sanju, f***ing Rose Jew. I did the drawing of Bubbles getting like Sanju. I had the idea of pairing them up in the comic book anyway. I did the drawings of Angelica and Mary Lee Walsh, that witch hag, masturbating. And I did draw the drawing of me giving you a hand job from among my adult fantasies, with your eyes censored to conceal your identity. It was a massive step outside of my boundaries, and I did it out of anger, and I regret having done it. And I'm really, really sorry. But we all do things in the heat of anger, and or out of our boundaries, that we end up regretting later. Proceeded to remove all references to Megan from the ED page, including replacing the lewd drawing of her with a close-up of her groin. By Christian's reasoning, this succeeded in masking the true identity of the woman in question, even though everyone apart from Chris and Megan still assumed it to be his hypothetical sister. He also felt it appropriate to upload the cover of his fictitious PlayStation game, Christian Weston Chandler's Adult Chronicles. Megan understandably took issue with his latest development.
Of course.
Okay. So instead of removing that one completely, you just enlarged my crotch. Thanks a lot. Why didn't you just remove it?
No.
Well, I'm sorry, but that just makes me more angry
That's
in
really
a way.
weird.
It's not that actual sex act that traumatizes me. It's the fact that you fantasize doing such things to me when you know I would never. It's like, how do I know you're not going to abduct me and such? That was a figure of speech. You know what I mean? It creeps me out if you have such thoughts about me. It's like you're stalking me, so you really need to back off. P.S.
yeah.
I think it's rather amusing how you complain of these people defiling you. Yes, many posts are ridiculous, but you have defiled Marilee Walsh and our wonderful security officers, who are simply doing their job. Then you defiled me and lied about it. You need to stop with this mindset that the whole world is against you and start taking some responsibility for once. Example, it's wrong to hate these people when you broke the rule by soliciting/loitering. Hey, at least they're doing their job, and I support that. In an attempt to find a resolution to the issue, Chris sent an email to the Wikimedia Foundation asking if it were possible for them to take down the page due to the culture of bullying it produced, only to be told that Encyclopedia Dramatica was not part of Wikimedia and thus they were helpless in the matter. Chris once again emailed Megan berating ED, upset that the authors of the page assumed that the woman was his imaginary sister who shared the name of his imaginary daughter, hence theorizing that Christian wanted to impregnate his mother so he could successfully have intercourse with his daughter, who was also his sister.
So he really was always this incestuous, huh? Like I keep fucking saying. Clues were always there that he would end up fucking his mom. Why?
He also revealed that drawing that image may have in fact
insane.
prevented something even more heinous. As for the drawing itself, I realized that it was done not only out of inspired fantasy, angst against ED, and love for you, but also a major release for my crazy, mixed-up hormones. If I didn't have the foresight to put my pent-up frustrations and feelings in the form of something, I might have become an abusive maniac. So thank God for allowing me to release my bottled-up frustrations in a more positive, yet not so politically correct, and not physically hurting others method. He insisted that if they ignore the webpage, the trolls would lose interest and forget about them. In the meantime, disgusted by everyone accusing him of having incestuous desires, Chris made it explicitly clear that the woman in the drawing was in fact his friend Megan, editing the phrase, drawing pictures of himself having sex with his imaginary twin sister, to drawing pictures of himself having sex with his lost sailor soldier, Megan, who dumped his sorry ass for drawing the pic of him f***ing her. She never even had any inkling of interest in him. What a intolerable, sad sack loser.
Yeah.
But there was nothing more he could do to save their relationship.
Even
By the
in
end
that
of April,
picture, she looks so
Megan had severed
uncomfortable
all
around
ties
him.
with Chris.
Jeez.
As a result of his adoration for her, he had created a veritable shrine for Megan, comprised of her own drawings that she gave him, figurines, pictures, and other media which were inspired by his desire for her. Over the coming years, the shrine slowly dissipated.
Close.
As an expression of humility, he uploaded an image gallery called, You Know What? I Hate Me Too, onto his ED page, which comprised of a selection of images from his comics, wherein he depicted himself getting beaten up, downtrodden, and looking unflattering. Once more, the pastor at his church discovered his online activities and subsequently expelled Christian from Grace Baptist Church, but he soon found refuge in Wesley Memorial United Methodist Church. To add insult to injury, Michael Snyder, the manager of the game place, banned Chris from the store for 2 weeks, most likely due to his frequent outbursts of racism towards the African American children and the temper tantrums he threw whenever he lost, which eventually resulted in an overall drop in patronage. In May, seemingly moving on from the events of the previous 2 months, Chris uploaded a gallery of photos onto the Adult Swim message boards of his Rock Band guitar controller, which he custom painted in the theme of the cartoon character Meatwad from the Adult Swim show Aqua Teen Hunger Force. He was officially baptized at the Wesley United Methodist Church. In June, troubles with Chris at the game place escalated to the point that Michael Snyder permanently banned him from the establishment. In retaliation, Christian called over his parents, so Snyder called the police, as he was well within his rights to refuse service to anyone he saw fit.
Exactly.
After this expulsion, the only form of regular social interaction he had left were his church activities. On June 25th, Brittany, who was someone who had become aware of Christian's antics online, wrote a lengthy email addressed to him in the hopes of convincing him to change his ways and move beyond always using his autism as a crutch. In August, Chris sent an email to someone he knew from the game place, letting him know that he had sent a letter of apology to Michael Snyder, but to no avail. In early August, Christian uploaded another video addressing the trolls who were dragging his name through the mud and blamed ED for the end of his relationship with Megan, threatening to cease publication of the upcoming Sonichu issue 7 until the page was taken down.
But I don't
Throughout the
think that's what
video,
it is.
he uses his glasses and hands for cartoon-like theatrics to dramatically emphasize his message.
Citizens of the internet, I present an open message to each and every one of you.
I'm gonna be honest, the
Y'all should
helicopter
know it by
delivery
now,
mission for
but if you
the
don't, I am Christian
for the
Weston
businesses
Chandler,
are actually the easiest ones.
the original creator of
Even if there's
Sonichu,
like more
the
than
electric
one, I think I
hedgehog
can do those
Pokemon,
very easily.
back on March 17th, 2000.
I think I've
Any
like
days
mastered
earlier
my
are void. I have a
I'm
whole bunch
helicopter
of people
certified.
on the
I'm
internet
definitely not forklift certified, that's for sure.
give me hate. Show me a lot of hate. And I do not appreciate it. Takes me off. Y'all think I'm just a sap, a chump, dumbass, whatever you may think. But you know what? You, every last one of you who has expressed hate against me, you're the shitheads.
He once again reiterates that he is not a homosexual.
Every one of you who thinks I'm homo and calls me that because I am not, I'm straight. I'm straight. You're the homos. Every last one of you.
Nor is he a pedophile.
I am not a pedophork, you dorks.
He expresses his disgust for the pornographic
I don't know, man.
images others have uploaded to the ED page, stating that he prefers vaginas, referring to them by the euphemism China.
The hatred I'm getting from every last one of you who has contributed to that Encyclopedia Dramatica webpage.
Oh god.
And
Oh no, I
every
forgot
other forum,
Alright, I'm dead.
internet document,
Oh fuck.
loosely drawn pictures
Oh man, I look
with
like a Dalmatian now. A lot of blood spots.
dicks. I love ducks. Ducks. China. If I see a dick,
Yikes, what do you mean by
I
that,
just
girl?
look away with a moment of being freaked out.
Call me, please.
He confirms once and for all that the woman pictured in She Came for Quick is Megan.
And by the way, that is not Crystal, whose eyes are censored. That is Megan.
Yep, I had a feeling.
And just for taking it up and twisting it around as such.
He describes his simple and wholesome wish for the future.
If I ever do
Alright,
find
now I can.
the one that is to be my sweetheart, I will give her such care, such tenderness,
Well, you
such
didn't
love.
want that, bruv. I'm sorry.
We get around to hanky-panky, that's fine. That's good. We get married.
I don't know, I'm so
I
tired.
will have my God called daughter.
Okay, Mary. Chill out.
She will be taken care of. Lovingly,
Mary.
those of you who mock me otherwise with such frivolous, lucrative adultery,
Okay.
if I ever hear any more new stuff,
Why? My
it
chest
will
hurts.
weigh on your
That's
conscience.
not
with
a good
me.
thing.
Tearing
Can't
at
imagine
your
that being a good thing,
souls.
but whatever.
Emotionally, I leave you with any other thoughts that you may have. But if you dare twist these words around, that will weigh worse on your conscience. The words that I provide from sound mind
I
and
got a
heart,
lot of money, though.
it will weigh heavily on you. It will weigh heavily on you.
Okay.
2 days later, the Christian page was declared Article of the Now on Encyclopedia Dramatica. The following day, Chris emailed Bill O'Reilly from Fox News, Dateline NBC, and NBC Nightly News about his conflict with Encyclopedia Dramatica, apparently for the second time. I wish to re-report the heinous webpage of worst levels of mockery against me. This webpage has been haunting me since it originated around Halloween 2007.
I don't know.
He implicated Jason Kendrick Howell as the
Let me set
creator of
some
the
weed.
page, declaring him the
Get
head
out of this
troll
thing.
and directed the majority of his hatred towards him. He also recorded another video,
Damn it.
urging fans of Sonichu to help take down the ED page, under the impression that he had more fans than he actually did.
Attention, all
Very
Sonichu
nice.
fans on the
Encyclopedia
internet who do
Dramatica.
not hate me.
Alright,
Christian
drive
Weston
all the way
Chandler.
there.
For I have an important message for y'all. If y'all would actually like me to bring up new stuff for Sancho and conclude the stories, You can do so by having that Encyclopedia Dramatica page take it down so that I can feel more comfortable in drawing and coloring the comics that y'all have grown to love. If you want to send all your complaints for me not doing the work that I should be doing, you could send every last complaint to the one called Jason Kendrick Howe, also known as How Games or Liquid Snake. For he is, and I quote, in an email he sent me, the creator of the Encyclopedia Dramatica ED page for me.
Whoa!
He urges everyone to send their hate to Kendrick Howell.
And that's for you, Jason Kendrick Howell. As sure as I am to get
oh my God.
at least 1 ounce of vagina, I have your number, and you're going down.
What?
2 days later,
There's a
Chris
lot going
celebrated
on
the
there.
apparent
From me
fall
being
of
launched
ED.
from my motorcycle
In
into
reality,
the air
the
to
website was
hearing that.
experiencing
What the
frequent
fuck?
outages and slow load times due to the increased site popularity.
Ladies and
Sorry,
gentlemen
this
on the
shit's funny.
internet, to all the Sonichu fans, I am pleased to announce that
I need to sell my weed
the
right now. I bet there's a lot of it
Encyclopedia
right
Dramatica,
now.
not only the webpage, but the whole freaking website's
Way
going
too
down.
long. Huh.
And to make sure it definitely goes down and stays down, do not donate any money to that website. Especially if you want
Don't hit the
to
gas.
see the more adventures of Sonichu that I am conjuring up in my mind and drawing
Wait,
out.
hold on.
As a reward for all the
Alright,
hard
watch
work
this.
his fandom had put in, he previewed
No?
unfinished drawings
What?
of a joke referencing the cartoon
Aw,
series
man.
Family Guy to be
Nice.
featured in
Okay, fine.
Sonic
You know what?
issue
Fuck it.
7.
TV-14, just for the skits, just like the Family Guy show. Let's go,
I just killed myself in the- oh my-
Let's go,
Oh,
let's go, Ghostbusters, let's go.
He also inserted references to the
Damn it, hold on.
1986 Filmation animated series, Ghostbusters, unrelated to the
Oh my
Columbia
God.
Pictures movie franchise, nor its subsequent animated adaptation, The Real
I wanted to
Ghostbusters.
blow up the gas thing. Oh man, why?
Oh, my aching sauce.
Through some email
What?
exchanges, Christian found an
Why are
acquaintance,
they making
Robert
the
Simmons
fucking Moore's
V,
Mutual
who was
prices
in
so
fact
high now?
an anti-troll
Why?
who gained Chris's
Does
trust
inflation
by
exist in
supporting
this
his
game too?
actions
Shit.
and creating a persona that
Oh,
possessed
man.
similar personality traits. He even resorted to filming videos announcing his support
Yeah,
for
no, the weed
Chris
farm
and
is
his love for
trash,
Sonic
okay.
Chew, all while touting a yellow-colored Sonic necklace.
Fine, you
Good
know what?
evening, citizens of YouTube.
I'm gonna store supplies.
I must be quiet.
I don't want to keep
'cause
spending
it's
my fucking money.
At night, I don't want to wake up my parents, so please forgive me for not talking loud.
Fuck it, you know what?
All you can hear
I'm
me.
gonna do something right
In
now.
an email dated August 12th, Chris confided in Robert and confessed his adoration for Meg Griffin from Family Guy. She is not ugly. She has always been a beautiful catch in my eyes. I just do not understand how anyone would see Megan as ugly. And
Because
I
it's
feel it
fucking
is very
funny,
pitiful
okay?
that Seth MacFarlane would make her the
Right.
punching bag of most everyone else on the show, when clearly she
Jesus
does not
Christ.
deserve such torturous punishment. I am in the same boat as she is, if you think about it.
Playboy
I'm
Cardi.
the punching bag of the jerks on ED who are getting their heinous
Oh.
lulls. A
was
rehash of
terrible.
lull, meaning laugh out loud. But in my opinion, lulls means laughs under lucrisities, which is obviously not good. He also admitted Robert into his elite list of men whom he does not hate. 3 days later, he recorded and uploaded another video addressed to his supposed fan base, conceding that Encyclopedia Dramatica has not fallen.
This is an official update to all the loyal Sonic fans on the internet and everywhere else. Well, first off, while the Encyclopedia Dramatica page, the whole website, they did manage to get their ill-gotten money, but I say, screw them. Anyway,
He addresses the scheme Trolls had to steal his Sonichu medallion.
I have been hearing the rumor
You're so far
of the
away.
medallion stealing. As you can see, it's still on me, man. Ain't nobody gonna get it off me, cause more security measures have been taken. This one might be the real one, this one might be the false one. How are you to know? That's for your own understanding.
Chris implores his fans to contact Nintendo and Sega about producing Sonichu-related merchandise.
What you can do to see all this in fruition and officially approved distribution, you go to Nintendo.com. If you have an account, or if you don't have an account, get yourself signed up for free. Talk about Sonichu. Build up more hype in their forums everywhere. Send them emails requesting that they bring them to fruition. They talk to me personally about bringing all that to fruition. Send them the emails, handwritten letters to their official building in Seattle, Washington. Let Nintendo and Sega know about the hype, Send them your personal requests and everywhere. Tell them to talk to me. They both, Nintendo of America and Sega of America, they know my address and my phone number. They have it in their systems. So talk to them, have them talk to me. Bring the Sideshow idea into fruition. And there's the update for now. Thank you for listening.
His ambitious plans activated the imagination of one J.K. Productions, who launched their own blog documenting the supposed development of their own Sonichu the game. Chris gave them his full support, unknowingly endorsing an elaborate ruse, with J.K. being a common acronym for just kidding.
Oh no! Bro, what?
On August 18th, Bob wrote a letter for Chris. In stark contrast to the one he had written during Christian's early childhood, this was much more brief, but nevertheless, still hopeful and optimistic about Chris's future. Dear Christian, at this time in life, you and Sonichu need a quest and purpose in life. Let Sonichu become a champion for autistic persons everywhere and continually defeat the perils of autism. Sonichu could become the spokesperson for autistic persons with an ongoing fight for them in chapter after chapter or good deeds on the internet. He could become the spokesperson from now on. You and Sonichu could become famous worldwide.
I mean, definitely the last part became true for all the wrong reasons. Damn. It really sucks that Bob did have a lot of hope for Christian, and then shit all just went downhill, especially after he died. It's pretty depressing.
On August 19th, a 3-member group created an online female persona by the name of Blanca Weiss, whose name was derived from the Spanish and German words for white. According to her story, she was working on her own comic book and created her own character called Jigglyami, a singing Pokemon based on Jigglypuff. She relayed this information to Christian via email and encouraged him to have her featured in a future Sonichu issue. Chris was beyond impressed with her and later made a full-body colored drawing of Jigglyami, which she wanted to send to her home address, but she declined. In order to gain her trust, Christian talked about himself, copying and pasting large sections from his various social media accounts. In return, the troll sent him this photograph as evidence of the veracity of her character, and talked more about her backstory. Chris admitted that she was growing on him. By the next day, he was already working on a scene in the comic starring Jigglyami. Blanca retorted with the lyrics for a song meant to be performed by Jigglyami. He let her know that he was almost finished Sonichu issue 7 and that he would feature Blanca and Robert Simmons in special interview segments. Chris mentioned that he helped Robert overcome some problems regarding his own love quest, such as abandoning the idea of an attraction sign. I later realized that a sign made me look retarded, so I stopped long time ago. I suggested that he try to put himself in the center of an open area and try some Axe body spray, he stated, under the impression that Axe body spray would have the same result as is demonstrated in their infamous ad campaign. The only thing about him that I feel different about, his version of my medallion. I don't know how to describe the way I feel about it, but from looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, or oh my god. I think you can understand. But please do not tell him that I said that. Sonichu issue 7 picks up where issue 6 left off, with Chris and Megan on the basketball court, chatting with Bionic, who thanks Megan for setting him up with Megaji. Bionic and Megaji's displays of affection almost bring Christian to tears, because it reminds him of his loneliness and virginity, but is comforted by Megan. They ask Magi-chan and Sonichu about pinpointing the location of the Sonichu balls, which by now are being referred to as Sonichu crystals, due to numerous comments made by trolls highlighting the homoerotic nuance of the term balls. The purpose and abilities of the aforementioned crystals are yet to be revealed. They determined that one crystal might have been lost in the past, and if they found the one who touched it last, they would know where to find it. Magi-chan realizes that at the exact instance when Chris thought up Bionic the Hedgehog in 1996, he was hit in the head by what he thought was a basketball, but it was actually a Sonichu crystal. Christian randomly transitions into a Family Guy-style sketch and gives Seth MacFarlane full permission to implement this idea in a future episode of Family Guy. The sketch in question is the one that was previewed in the video, in which Chris, stylized as Family Guy's Peter Griffin, is incorporated into the setting of Filmation's Ghostbusters cartoon. Ironically, his witty reimagining of himself bears far more resemblance to his actual appearance than his official comic book persona.
It does,
Magichan says that he can bring Chris and Sonichu back to 1996 to retrieve the crystal, so he encapsulates the three into a time sphere that brings them back to Chris's time in Manchester High School. Current-day Chris happens upon 14-year-old Chris, who has a conversation with Joseph Herring, depicted as having an acne-ridden face, despite all known photos showing him clear-skinned and handsome. Chris is hit in the head by the crystal, and Sonichu discreetly catches it, avoiding any possible temporal tampering. Beavis and Butthead is also briefly referenced. They proceed to bring the crystal back to the present day, but the time sphere abruptly stops, flinging Chris out of it. Magichan comes to the conclusion that Chris is lost. Shenhui stopped. The crystal's power made him able to pass through my sphere. The crystals activated like rockets upon his friction from the stop, and he was propelled into the void of time. There is nothing we can do for him right now. All we can do is wait for a time warp to pen, and if I sense his presence at that moment, there is a chance I can go in and retrieve him. The time warp may open at any random time in the future. Christian's self-imposed exclusion from the storyline was in order to satisfy the many people online telling him that the Sonichu comics primarily focused on Chris rather than the eponymous hero. Sonichu informs Rosechu of the situation, stating that he will survive and will be in a sense watching over them like God. They embrace, with Chris depicting Rosechu's panties under her skirt in order to defy all claims that he is a homosexual.
I'm sorry, what the fuck?
Meanwhile, in the time void, Chris possibly absorbs the two crystals into his hands, which cause his mind to flood with memories from his recent real-life past, which clash with the thoughts of the comic book Chris, drawing the episode to a close. The comic segues into a special section devoted to the goings-on of the KCWC radio station, hosted by DJ Jamsta Sonichu and his girlfriend, Lalisa Rosechu. He interviews Gigliami and her cute manager, Blanca. Gigliami is portrayed with a medallion bearing her own likeness around her neck. Lalisa then conducts an in-depth interview with Robert Simmons V, who is said to resemble Chris in many ways. On the day issue 7 was released, Christian finished drawing the cover for the Spring Break Special Issue 8, which he sent to Blanca. For this issue, he changed the name of the comic to Rosechu. Towards the end of August, Evan Christopher George uploaded a Sonichu-related creation which he called Seamanchu, which, according to his official biography, was originally a Pikachu that was raised by a swarm of Pokemon called Beedrill. Despite the drills in lieu of hands design bearing resemblance to that of Beedrill, the character's name, red goggles, and drills are derived from semen as seen in the anime series Gurren Lagann.
I don't know if I should ask or not why it's pronounced semen instead of Simon, but you know what, whatever.
Evan decided to email his creation to Chris in the hopes of being included in a future issue of Sonichu. However, Chris rejected the idea, instead adapting the character into a new ground bug-type female creation called Simonla Rosechu, mistaking Seamanchu's goggles for invert eyelids and his cape for a shell. 2 days later, Christian uploaded a video describing his role in the development of the Sonichu video game by JK Productions, still under the impression that it was a legitimate organization.
Alright, well, first off, I am going to give y'all some talk as suggested by my associates who are on the Sonichu game that's in development. I'm still thinking about the story very much. I got a big chunk of the stories in my head. It's gonna be like multiple stories, like we'll go through multiple characters, all the original Sonichu and Rosechu hedgehogs. Once we get the game project off the ground, hopefully with the assistance of Nintendo of America and Sega of America.
Okay.
There will definitely be the release of the official Sonichu merchandise, including officially released and distributed manufactured medallions, for one thing. Copies of my CWC on TV DVD that you've seen only a few bits of on the YouTube and such, and as well as possible Sonichu action figures.
He mentions that the Sonichu comic will once again be focused on Sonichu and that Chris will eventually return, only to retire as mayor of Quickville and give himself a smaller role in the story. He then continues to elaborate on the storyline of the game.
And then we go on to Bubbles. Everybody love Bubbles? Bubbles is the bubbly one! Anyway, yeah. She'll get more wet. All the hedgehogs will go through all the same levels, except variations.
Sorry.
Bubbles will mostly be able to swim. somewhat underwater versions of those levels. And a Juck, well, she'll be flying high, casting off wing attacks against the enemies in her story.
He reveals that Black Sonichu's name will change, possibly as a response to the backlash he had received due to the racial connotations of the name.
Also, for short, her Black Sonichu was Black Chew. I'm changing it for his nickname, as it will be revealed in the upcoming Spring Break issue. Hey man, fun on Spring Break! He will prefer to be called Blake. Blake.
Blake is okay.
Yeah, so anyway, Blake's running around with Bubbles. But Bubbles likes to try to think that she can keep it to herself, like, she has she turned on by the dark side of the Force, and all the nuttiness that Blake will want to bring with him.
He talks about Blanca and her involvement in his personal and creative life.
It's nice to know that I actually do have a good gal pal that I made over the internet recently, whose inspired character she was inspired by me. Her inspired character I've given my full approval of and introduced in the comic I just uploaded to what is now could also be considered to be Sideshoe.net.
I just fucking killed them.
Nothing but net. Screw your com, I got the net.
Bitch.
She herself is the original character of the new bubblegum pop star. Jiggly yummy. Yeah. So it's possible she and I may actually meet in the future, but I don't have any future plans as of this point, but I think I'll feel better with my future set when I have my sweetheart. So, thank you very much, every one of you, for your patronage, and I hope you all have a pleasant day.
Christian's newfound infamy brought him much stress and hardship, with him hardly being able to cope with the constant barrage of trolling, getting ever more challenging to discern what was false and what was true, what was an advice and what was an insult.
Ow!
But he still had his principles, his dreams, and ambitions to see himself through the most trying period of his life.
You fuck off. Okay, well, I just finished episode 5. I'll read those comments later. Doing the weed supply mission. Okay, part 6.
Towards the end of August 2008, hoping to further develop their relationship, Christian emailed Blanca asking about her opinion on pornography and admitted that he has seen his fair share. He revealed that he enjoyed TV shows like Keeping Up Appearances, Are You Being Served?, and Monty Python. Chris encouraged her to upload a video of herself on YouTube, or at least have a video call with him.
God.
He also mentioned an alleged recent interaction with Megan. If you recall my gal pal, Megan Schroeder, I've chatted with her earlier tonight. She has forgiven me for my mistake. She is doing well, and she has been going out with a volunteer fireman for about over a month now. Although I had her at I love you when I lost her then, I can still be happy for her successes as a true friend. He let Blanca know that he had gotten used to the existence of the Encyclopedia Dramatica page, but was still tormented by the images of a transgender Rose Chew. She is all woman. She was born with and still has her God-given vagina and both ovaries. I would seriously really wish and like very much see all the dicked up images removed from the page and replaced with more accurate fan art of Rose Chew with vagina. Not only that, but it seriously ticked me when just after I found the page back in November 07, I received in emails a few copies of those particular images. Then I distinctly, right to the point, straightforward told all the people that sent the image copies, as well as the people of the ED page, to remove their pickled images. Only if they would replace their dick-headedness with honest, God-blessed images of Rose Chew with vagina and absolutely no friggin' penis. Blanca revealed that their relationship was in fact growing stronger, and sent the following photo to Chris to further persuade him of her genuineness. This convinced him to provide her with his home phone number. Christian also informed her of his scheme to combat images of Rose Chew with a penis by making his own sexual drawings of a truly female Rose Chew. Blanca then encouraged him to proclaim his intentions in a YouTube video. On September 2nd, 2008, In order to replace the sexual imagery of which he disapproved, Christian uploaded 9 nude drawings of Rose Chew in a variety of sexual situations. Many of these drawings were actually traced from pre-existing erotic renderings of characters such as Amy Rose from Sonic.
Oh my god.
3 days
What
later,
the fuck?
JK Productions claimed
He
that they
traced
had
that?
received a
Okay.
cease and desist order from both Sega and Nintendo due to the unauthorized use of the likeness of their characters. The artists in response drastically redesigned the main characters. For example, Sonichu was reimagined as Reginald the Anteel, which was a crossbreed of an anteater and an eel who sported a dashing suit with a pickle in his breast pocket. Rosechew was similarly replaced by an anteel with gay overtones. Chris was also supplanted by a voluptuous female version of himself.
Not to mention, this version also has a pickle medallion, which I think is really funny.
These drastic changes convinced Chris to end his relationship with JK Productions, mistaking the anteals for aardvarks. In the face of what has been long established, Christian released episode 17 of Sonichu issue 8 before the comic was completed. Rather than the supposed spring break theme, episode 17 came about as a direct response to the recent drama concerning ED and 4chan, resulting in a sex-filled and surprisingly pornographic offering. Due to the shocking nature of its content, the episode was originally available in 3 different versions, based on the TV parental guidelines devised by the FCC. TVY7, which contained no graphic content, TV14, which included sexual acts with the nudity censored, and TVMA, which was the uncut and uncensored version. Before the prologue, Chris inserted a disclaimer in which Sonichu and Rosechew say that they are over the age of 18 and give some warning as to what will shortly be witnessed. We, Christian Weston Chandler, and everyone of this hand-drawn series fully support safe sex and the proper use of condoms during vaginal penile intercourse.
What the fuck?
Sonichu also promotes the idea of sex and dating education classes in schools to better prepare youngsters for their first flirts with courtship. The story begins with Sonichu and Rosechew preparing to make love. Sonichu mentions that he needs to purchase double extra-length condoms because his penis is 7 inches long. Chris then proceeds to explain the sexual anatomy of Sonichu and Rosechew, which for the most part are identical to the human equivalents. With the help of diagrams, he goes on to explain sexual intercourse between 2 electric hedgehog Pokemon of the opposite gender, and once again promotes the practice of safe sex. The scene returns to the lovemaking. Chris offers a depiction of Sonichu's penis's point of view as it enters Rosechew's mouth.
Oh my god.
They go through
what
several
the
positions
fuck?
during their lovemaking. The TV14 version superimposes a banana over Sonichu's penis, an orange slice over Rosechew's vagina, and blue stars over her nipples. After the copulation, Rosechew explores a website called 4cent Garbage, a representation of both Encyclopedia Dramatica and 4chan. She discovers that the people there were uploading lewd drawings of Rosechew and the other Rosechews possessing male genitalia. She's angered by it, while Sonichu mistakes the drawings for photographs and falls ill and faints. She puts him to bed to rest. She then decides to take her own arousing photographs, which happen to be the images which were previously posted by Chris on ED. In the TV14 edition, her bare body was concealed by a red bikini that Chris drew in Microsoft Paint. To her dismay, her efforts were for naught, as only more anatomically incorrect images of her appear on 4cent Garbage. So Sonichu, Rosechew, and Wild Sonichu travel to the 4cent Garbage building, with Wild joining in to search for the next Sonichu crystal. Sonichu and Rosechew aim to confront the boss of the corporation, who goes by the name Jason, signifying Jason Kendrick Howell. Chris creatively hints at his surname by referencing Lovey and Thurston Howell from the 1960s TV show Gilligan's Island. Meanwhile, Wild Sonichu turns invisible. They enter the building and ask a devil-like creature called Beale, who is working as a receptionist, where to find Jason. He states that they need to take the elevator to floor 66 plus 6. The pair go up the elevator and witness the various goings-on of each floor. Rosechew attacks someone who is uploading an image of her with male genitalia, and Christian briefly comes out of the time void to punch a man viewing the depiction of Chris using an oversized drinking straw. Many of the images were lifted straight.
Oh my god, why is that funny?
Chris using an oversized drinking straw.
Jeez.
Many of the images were lifted straight out of ED. In the uncensored version, they witness more provocative activities, such as pictures of Sonic characters in sexual settings, which apparently excite Sonichu. The graphic cartoon pornography of the upper floors, in fact,
like that
aroused
sunrise
both
orange.
Sonichu and Rosechu. On the 70th floor, they witnessed the destruction of an Xbox game console, which is referred to as a Hexbox, highlighting Christian's hatred of the gaming system. Meanwhile, Wilde locates the crystal, which overrides his camouflage powers.
No shit.
The protagonists finally reach the 72nd floor and are greeted by an ominous Jason, draped in a dark hooded cloak with, apart from one eye, his face concealed by shadows. They politely request that the Christian page be taken down, stating that the page goes against the values of the United States and her citizens. Jason states that the page will remain, and Sonichu goes for an attack, but is quickly thrown aside.
That looks good though.
They decide to leave quietly, but then
Give it
Jason
some
throws a
orange.
pickle at Rosechu's head, which infuriates her. She flies up into the air to shed her clothes, and reveals that she wears a C-cup bra. She takes off her brassiere and underwear, her nude body for all to see. Her fiery rage transforms her into the incredible lioness. I am the power.
What the
I am
fuck?
the warrior. I am the almighty woman. True to all of my gender, I will overpower any evil or good man who defies us,
I guess Rochu is a certified alpha male. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
and make him succumb to our
Okay.
will. I have the almighty uterus that makes me strong and super
that's nicer
powerful
orange.
enough
I
to
like it.
protect the loved ones within me until they emerge to their glorious birth. By my ferocious will, I shall punish he who has defiled my people with the worst unnatural addition ever by this one's heinous hand. I am woman. Hear me roar. She flies at Howl, grabbing hold of his head with her thighs. In a ferocious rage, she tears open his skull, but Jason remains alive. Rosechu calms down and
What
reverts
the
to her
fuck?
old self. They regroup with Wild, crystal in hand. They bring it back to the mayor's office, where the rest of the Sonichu crystals are kept. With two in Chris's possession, they have only one more crystal to find on their own, so they could finally rescue Crystal. In the epilogue, all the Rosechus gather together to make nude photographs of themselves in
Oh my
support of
God.
women's liberation. Simone
What
Rosechu
the
digs
fuck?
herself out of the ground and is introduced to everyone. They are surprised by the sudden arrival
like people
of one
like Chris
Zabina
are the reason
Rosechu,
women need
who wants to
liberation.
help them out, but announces that she is 14 years old.
Oh god.
Rosechu regrettably
What?
announces that she cannot contribute due to dumb laws.
Dumb laws.
Melissa
It's
insisted
crazy.
that she can work as a volunteer,
Ew.
using her light emission powers
Chris
to help
is the one who
with the
created
photo
this, by the
shoot,
way,
which
so
will
that
serve as
is
a protest
kind of-
to the
Now, I'm pretty sure those child protection laws, saying they're dumb, is not gonna help your case of not being a pedophoric, as he likes to fucking call it. And also, I don't think he really needs to fucking include a 14-year-old in this clearly 18-plus comic. Like, what the fuck is his problem?
efforts
very
of the
gross,
slanderous
actually.
jerks.
See, he would have gotten younger
Episode
for
17 was
for-
widely
for gal pals
lambasted,
if it
forcing
really-
Chris to
if it was
quickly
legal.
remove
I'm
the
just saying.
uncensored edition from the website.
I'm sorry, that's
He
kind of
defended the drastic change in tone in his comic in an email to Blanca. I wish to make it
Bro, it feels
perfectly
like a PDF
clear that
file.
I, Christian Weston Chandler, a sound-minded virgin, do not see women as sex objects. I honestly see women as my equal, human beings who have every right as any person in this world
Okay.
do, and I care about how women feel.
Those are
Story-wise,
dumb laws.
Rosechu is only doing what
These
she
dumb laws don't
herself,
let
as an
underage people get
individual,
naked
feels
on
is
video.
right in a great act of protest
fuck?
against the real-life forceandgarbage.com,
Sorry, I cannot
which is
get over that. That's so
encyclopediadramatica.com. And every woman has every right as human equals to speak their voice as loud as they feel for or against what they each set their individual sights upon. Ladies, I care. I seriously do. It was around this time that a troll, who identified herself as Lord Silly Nipples, assumed Blanca's identity.
From now on in this entire series, from when Lord Silly Nipples gets introduced to probably the rest of the series, I will not take that name seriously.
Without informing the original trio of trolls, who created and then shared with Chris Blanca's supposed MySpace page, and sent an email asking him to send her sexy nude
ears
photos
itching
of
so
himself.
much.
In return, she promised she would show her own sexy side.
Sorry.
Captivated by the promise of nudes, he took an array of revealing photos of himself and sent them to whom he thought was Blanca,
Oh,
taking
no.
little notice of her, suddenly changing her email address, or the various physical and biographical
No, that's
inaccuracies
awful.
seen on her MySpace page. On September 11th, Blanca's MySpace profile picture was changed to a photo of a black man in a pickle costume.
Oh, what the
and Lord
fuck?
Silly Nipples posted Christian's nude photos onto the
Oh,
ED
that's
page.
terrible.
Humiliated by the revelation, he recorded a video addressing the event, conceding that Blanca, as he knew her, was a troll.
An official update. You know who I am, but right now at the moment I'm upset and sad. The featured friend that I have recently given a guest spot in the 7th comic book, turns out that woman was a fake troll. Well, he tricked me into revealing some adult type stuff.
That is fucked up, though.
I was tricked. I was betrayed.
He also mentions the mysterious appearance of an advertisement for Sonichu toys purportedly seen in a magazine.
What the hell?
I've taken the notice of the recent ad in the video game magazine or comic book somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where, about merchandise. I have not ever, up to this point, authorized any distribution or advertisement of any Sonichu merchandise. So, the ad there, that is a fake. Boycott that at all costs.
Finally, since he believed that Blanca was not a real person, he assumed complete control over her intellectual property.
Also, at this point, I will claim Jigglyami as my own from this point on. And Blanca character I associate with her in the drawing, well, she'll be like a character in a city, but she's not going to be an active character. But Jigglyami, I'll be claiming her as my own from this point on. Good day.
The ad he had mentioned was an invention of a troll who assumed the identity of former
Interesting.
English soccer personality Jimmy Hill, who
What the
wanted
hell?
Chris to believe that Hill stole all elements of the Sonichu story and was developing the
I stashed
franchise
it in
in
a
real life, the popularity of which allegedly rivaled that of Pokemon. Still scarred from unwittingly exposing his vulnerability to the trolls, he sent an email to the reverend of his church, Elizabeth Foss, about how he was deceived and now looked to God for forgiveness. Reverend Foss in return suggested that he meet with pastoral counselor Rocky Shoemaker, whom she felt could help Chris make sense of his troubles. He began seeking her advice regularly. Vivian G continued to email Chris, trying to convince him that his nude pictures are not a big deal, and that she wished that he get off the internet and meet real women in person like he used to. She tried with all her might to
Used
make
to?
him see that Robert Simmons was a troll as well,
home right now?
but
Isn't he,
Christian
Dad?
wouldn't listen. In the wake of the Blanca deception, he re-engaged in conversations with the original Blanca, sending his messages to her original email address, with the trolls desperately trying to convince Chris that their Blanca was the true Blanca, claiming that the Blanca behind the leaks and the MySpace page was a product of trolls. The trolling trio persuaded Christian to take part in a Skype call. One of the three, who called herself Nurse Iki-chan,
Ow! I'm on
lent her
fire! I'm
voice
on
to the
fire!
part and convinced him that he
shit.
was in contact with the true Blanca. He later announced so in a video.
It's all settled now. Blanca's real. I talked to her. Yeah, she called me. So as for the as for the jerk who posed with the Kawaii Katsune name,
How the fuck?
if I knew who you were, I'd give you a kick in the balls. But I can't because I don't know who or where you are. But if everybody knows the whereabouts of the jerk, and just happened to be nearby or within the state, give him a split kick from me. Anyway, I'm happy now. I'm happy.
He also addresses the issue of counterfeit Sonichu merchandise produced by Jimmy Hill.
First off, the toys in the UK. They're definitely fake. I have never approved any merchandise or distribution of such merchandise yet. So therefore, the advertisements of such Sonichu merchandise in the UK, all fake. Possibly this guy named Jerry Hill, I think his name was. But I mean, that's from a suggestion that's a name I got from one of my fans. So anyway, boycott buy the merchandise from the UK. Buy any merchandise from there. Boycott it. Don't do it.
Chris also confirms that JK Productions were fake and implored that people continue asking Nintendo to get involved in the Sonichu video game.
Interesting.
Sonichu, Issue 1. Hand-drawn premiere issue. Go, Sonichu. Go out and zap to the extreme.
On September
Fuck am I
15th,
listening to?
Vivian G began uploading her series of Sonichu audiobooks, which she edited herself.
Oh, yeah.
A narrator
Vivian.
told the story of the comic in a calm yet dramatic voice, with Vivian herself providing crass commentary in the form of annotations. The project made no attempt at addressing inconsistencies, spelling errors, or storyline issues, and simply delivered the story in a straight, deadpan manner. The team would continue to make audiobook videos covering the Sonichu story for the next few years. Possibly sometime in September, Lord Silly Nipples, impersonating Christian's
Lord
childhood
Silly
friend
Nipples? Gotta love
Tiffany
that.
Robinson, sent
Ow.
him an email requesting to receive a copy of his Yup, I'm on TV DVD, who upon receiving the gift, leaked the contents onto the internet.
How is it
This
so
leak
easy for him to
featured
be on
most of
TV?
the
What the
videos
fuck?
and photos on the disc, including this photo of Barbara Chandler. Due to her significant
goodness.
girth and slumbering state, trolls began calling her Snorlax, which is a large Pokemon
Ooh,
known for its sleepy
That's
nature.
fucked up.
Despite things with Chris and Blanca looking optimistic, he began a courteous discord with one Sarah Jackson,
I feel like if Chris
who
knows
allegedly
he's
first
being
found
like
out about
harassed
him
this
through her
like
autistic sister,
relentlessly,
Rose.
I feel like
a
he
Sonichu
shouldn't bring
fan.
his family into it.
Like
I don't
most
know.
people engaged with Christian
Can't
at the
be the only
time,
one thinking
Sarah
that
was
right
also
now.
Okay, now that I think about it, I don't think he was really bringing his family into it. I think trolls just somehow find these pictures of his family and are like, oh, Snorlax! Like, yeah, I think that's probably the case. I don't know. I'm dumb as hell.
a fake personality.
I don't know. That
He
is
informed
so
Blanca
weird.
of this new development in their relationship. I'm gonna be honest with you. Over the weekend, I met this other woman over the internet, developed a good trust with her. Basically, I'm feeling in between with you and this woman, and I want to make more certain which one I should save myself for. I have told her about you, and I only want to be as fair as possible. I'd hate to make you feel bad, sad, or jealous, because I honestly care about you and your feelings a lot, Blanca Weiss. I understand if this comes as a big surprise to you, but believe me, you are the first I've said I love you to, openly and honestly. Let me ask you, do you want me in an honest relationship, or sexually, more or equal to bad? He gave Blanca Sarah's email address so she could have a talk with her. I care about Christian a lot, and I would not see him hurt by anyone, especially not someone pretending to be a girl to get their kicks from hurting an innocent man who is autistic. I hope you realize what kind of monster you are. Honestly, what do you have to gain from hurting him? Oh, are you going to get more naked pictures of him? Going to rob him of his dignity? You know what? Go do something more productive, like get a job, read a book, I don't know, do something. What kind of person purposely tries to ruin the life of an autistic? It's beyond me. Sarah
Of
replied.
an autistic.
Chris is a sweet and loving man, and he has feelings for me.
That's fucked
You
up, though.
obviously blew it with
Jesus.
him, or he wouldn't be talking to me in the first place. So you can just jump off a cliff, sister. You couldn't possibly love him the way I have come to. So just give this pathetic game up. I will tell him about the slanderous things you have written to me too, and then we'll see how much more he trusts you. Christian had to make a tough decision, so he chose Blanca to be his one and only. He asked if she would send him some more photographs of herself at varying angles, stating that nudes weren't necessary, but appreciated. He paid no attention to Blanca's constantly changing physical appearance. Chris also brought up the possibility of a future meeting in real
Interesting.
life. While I'm thinking about it, did you say you might be able to make it for Thanksgiving break? If not sooner, I would appreciate your presence. And if at that time you feel ready, my virginity shall be
Ow!
yours.
Fuck.
I know I said it before in your previous pics, but you still have a hot body. Oh my god. He then elaborated on their proposed schedule. You can meet my mother and father, chat with them a while, and get to know each other. Then you and we can go upstairs to my bedroom to just hang out, watch TV, or chat a while. Maybe even some video gameplay with Guitar Hero or something. For dinner that
that sounds
evening,
nice.
our first date, I will take you out to McDonald's, Arby's, Burger King, or a small restaurant like that. Then I'd let you go back to your hotel or bring you back home. No sex on the first night, but if you'd like to make out, I'd welcome it. For lunch, I take you to this good all-you-can-eat pizza, salad, soup, dessert buffet that I know of in Charlottesville. Then we can take in a romantic movie at the theater, or we can walk the downtown mall and or walk in the park. If it doesn't bother you, I may yawn and stretch my arm around you to your other shoulder. If you want to take it further, you may pull my hand on your shoulder a little closer to your breast. Of course, this is optional, and that lets you cop a reach into the popcorn bucket, or under that to cop a feel. Stop me if I'm bothering you, Rennie. and you and I can make out in the theater. And if you feel like it that night in the privacy of mine or your room, you can take my virginity. Or we can wait till the third night, if there is one, before you have to go back to Kentucky. Either way, I would wear a condom then, and in the future, until our wedding night. Blanca and Sarah continued to spitefully exchange emails to each other until September 17th, when correctly guessing his password, trolls hacked into Christian's email account, and also in turn gained access to his AOL, MySpace, YouTube, Facebook, and eBay accounts, leaking the majority of his private goings-on to the public. In addition, they acquired previously unreleased nude photos of him, which they sent to ED. One particular picture was a close-up shot of Sonichu doodled on his penis. Another was an erect Chris modeling his mother's underwear.
Oh,
These
what
latest
the fuck?
photos also explicitly showcased the unusual, misshapen form of his penis. In the meantime, the trolls changed the background of his YouTube profile page to a tiled illustration of a pickle. In response, Chris created a new email address and made a new YouTube channel, CChan6789. In the midst of all this chaos, Christian began chatting with one Jessie Reddy, an online female
fuck
persona
you.
conceived by two trolls, possibly through Skype.
My controller
Their
disconnected.
conversations remained fairly casual, though they did discuss some sexually charged topics. At the same time, Chris also
My
began
controller always
conversing
disconnects
with
at
an
the
Australian girl
best
who went by
time.
the internet handle Panda Halo. Like all his recent love interests, Panda, real name Sarah Cassandra Mackenzie, was yet again another troll created
Ow,
online
asshole!
identity. Growing increasingly hopeful of a future with her, he broke off the promise of a relationship with Blanca and announced his new true love in a video. This was the first instance of Chris introducing his videos with the phrase Captain's Log and listing off the relevant star date, which was the method of log entry and record keeping used in the Star Trek TV and film franchise. However, it is likely that Chris was actually referencing a Star Trek parody seen in Family Guy instead.
Captain's Log, Stardate, September 24th, 2008. This is an update for the Sonichu fan base. As you can see, I am safe and well. I have no intention of hurting or killing myself.
He finally leaves his bitterness towards Adam Stackhouse behind him.
Also, I would like to update by letting y'all know about Adam Stackhouse, who was the winner of the that Parappa contest. Leave him alone. I hold no grudge against him. So you leave him and his family, including his sister, alone.
Oh, right, the
It's all forgiven. It's all in the past. Done deal. Also, I have a big announcement. I'm taken.
That's not an
I don't want
apartment.
to
For oh, what?
true name. For my worry about her safety. But I want to shout out my love to her. This is for you.
He proceeds to sing Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley, with the song's appearance in a Family Guy episode serving as a backing track. Christian and Panda Halo's relationship got heated very quickly. Chris engaged in Skype conversations using the family computer located in their kitchen. Over the course of their chats, he frankly discussed delicate topics such as masturbation. He graphically described his masturbation routine and admitted that he would always have a clean plastic cup on hand in which he would ejaculate as to not make a mess. Chris reflected on what he has learned from watching copious amounts of porn and confessed that he wouldn't like it if women inserted fruits and vegetables into themselves while masturbating because he saw it as a waste of food.
Well, at least I can agree with him on something. And plus, I feel like it's just gross. And also, I feel like you're at like a higher risk of infection if you're putting food up your fucking orifices. I don't know, man.
But in the case of bananas, it was acceptable due to the protective peel of said fruit, meaning it could be eaten after the fact. While Panda Halo did not appear on video, her voice was enough to convince Chris that she was real. He readily engaged in obscene acts for his webcam.
Are you
These
kidding
included
me?
Chris impersonating a selection of
Of
animals
course, when I
and
need
even
it, that's when I-
masturbating
okay.
on
You
camera.
dumbass.
These videos soon surfaced on the internet. It was possibly around this time that Vivian G had a 3-hour-long chat with Chris through AOL instant messaging, during which she desperately tried
That's
to
not
convince him
copyrighted.
that all the women offering themselves to him over the internet
Come on,
were
Lester.
fake. During the conversation, Christian slipped on cat poo in the kitchen and had to clean up the mess.
God,
She confronted
fuck you,
him over the
Lester.
nude picture he drew of Megan. He accused ED of twisting the image and making it evil, destroying their relationship. Vivian reminded him that Megan had requested that they remained just as friends, but Christian betrayed her. He then proceeded to talk about his need
can't if
for a
there's cops
sweetheart
on my
to
ass.
fulfill his wish of fathering a daughter by the name of Crystal Weston Chandler. He blamed his random access memory for the sudden change in topic, claiming he can't help himself if his thoughts are random. He revealed that he still went to the Alderman Library at the University of Virginia to look for women. Vivian then explained that people usually go to the library to study and not to hook up with strangers. The discussion gave him a headache. Chris then talked about his desperate need for a dating education class, which would be especially useful for the third date onwards. Vivian pointed out that the dating experience would be completely different for every person, and that sex is not guaranteed on the third date. Chris eventually didn't know how to reply because his mind became a blank. She asked him to roleplay to find out what he would say when meeting a girl. Hinir immediately began talking about drawing his comics. She told him that if he were to say that to a girl, he would be perceived as immature and childish. Christian then asked if it would make a difference if he told women that he drew sex pictures instead. Vivian recoiled, stating that that would be disturbing. She begged for him to seek professional help, admitting that trying to help him herself was like fighting a wall.
Oh, nice.
On September 29th, Christian reignited communications with his former sweetheart, Blanca, telling her that he had a dream in which the name of his true sweetheart-to-be was revealed to be Blanca Weiss. As a show of affection, he announced that he will send his original Sonichu, Rose-Chu, Black Sonichu, and Gigliami medallions, as well as his drawing of Gigliami to what he thought was her aunt and grandmother's home address. I hope that you are feeling better, and that you feel delighted after reading that God and Jesus have finally revealed they are guiding me to you. 2 days later, he sent her an album of grainy photos of himself in an array of poses. On October
I'm the bad
4th,
guy now?
Chris released a short video in which he lampoons a line of dialogue used in the MTV animated series Eon Flux.
My name is Christian Weston Chandler. I'm here to find happiness with my true sweetheart, who I've known for over 2 months now. So you trolls best leave us alone.
Now I gotta do what I was already fucking doing earlier, losing the cops.
Everybody happy now?
As the months progressed, more and more Jimmy Hill related artwork began to surface. Screenshots from a supposed Sonichu animated series were leaked as well, and the plotline of Hill's Sonichu story was revealed, which resembled Christian's own iteration, but with some notable alterations. Sonichu was touted as the first openly gay cartoon character, with Blake being his boyfriend.
Sure thing, Daddy.
He hung out with Rose-Chu, his gal pal, and he loved his parents, Mary Lee Walsh and Jimmy Hill himself.
God.
In the cartoon, they would come under attack from the giant jerkbot, which was modeled after Christian's own naked figure.
What the fuck?
On October 9th, trolls received Christian's package meant for Blanca. It included the medallions, as well as his depiction of Blanca's original character. Chris wrote a heartfelt letter to her on the back of the drawing, which Nurse Iki-chan herself read out for a video later uploaded onto YouTube.
Dear Blanca, I am so happy that you were revealed as my true, honest sweetheart to be in the dream I have anxiously waited for since the dreams of me and my future daughter. Before, my heart was lost and confused. Now I truly see the path to the
well,
true,
with how
honest
he is
love.
to his mother now, I don't think you should have a daughter.
Now, I truly hardly wait to meet you around Halloween.
Below the letter was an illustration depicting a sleeping, dreaming Christian who dreamt of himself waiting for his sweetheart Blanca at a local hotel. The trolling group quickly uploaded their findings onto ED. In response, Christian recorded a video falsely claiming that even though the trolls got hold of his medallions, Blanca had intercepted them and sent his Sonichu medallion back, which he then modified to make more secure, meaning the medallion around his neck in this video was in fact a copy.
Captain's log. Stardate, October 9th, 2008. Y'all know who I am, so my message should be clear. I'm here to dispel a couple of rumors that have been flying around. Firstly, my Sonichu medal was not stolen. It was entrusted to my sweetheart, Blanca, who lives over in Kentucky. Rest assured, she is not a troll, so nobody say otherwise. I have talked to her on webcam and video and audio and heard her voice over her microphone to my speakers and headphones. Okay. Anyway, I sent her the medal, and even though some trolls nearby got hold of it temporarily, she managed to get it back and send it back to me express.
He emphasizes that he added a peg to the back of it to hold his amethyst high school ring. He also mentions his leaked DVD footage, naming the man in the pickle suit as the culprit.
Also, the DVD, that was not stolen either. The man in the pickle suit tricked me once again. I pretended to be a trusted gal pal of mine. So it was sent upon request, but thank God I had the foresight to not make a copy of my director's cut, which has a lot more footage on it than any distributed copy has.
Still convincing himself that Blanca was true, he professes his love for her.
I wish to also proclaim my love for my sweetheart. I love you, Blanca. I cannot bear to live without you, baby. So please come here as soon as possible so we can be together forever. I love you, Blanca. I always will.
Okay.
Pain me. You would just pain me if you got hurt. So nobody better harm a hair on her, or else you'll hear from me.
As an epilogue, Chris advertises the upcoming PS3 game, Little Big Planet.
Also, this video, as well as all previous videos, are proudly presented to you thanks to the gracious technology from Sony Computer Entertainment America. Look forward for the upcoming Little Big Planet game, coming to only on PlayStation 3, and see exclusive levels that I will be uploading after I've created soon enough, that y'all will be very interested in playing. Thank you.
4 days later, seemingly unperturbed by the possible deception concerning Blanca, Christian made another video announcing that he had received the beta release of Little Big Planet and had already completed making his own level.
The Little Big Planet level y'all heard about. I have the beta, and I have completed the level in only 2 nights, and I got it published onto the Little Big Planet database on the internet. Apparently my beta had expired, which is kind of bad luck. So I guess I'll just have to wait a week before I can introduce the level fully in video form on the YouTube. Little Big Planet, only on PlayStation 3. Never accept any invitations, even downloadable to a Xbox.
He continues by airing his grievances concerning Jimmy Hill.
Master Jimmy Hill, as y'all may know about him,
You got beef with everyone.
he has perpetrated the rights of science for myself. As y'all well know, for the longest time now, that I am the original owner and creator of Science
Fuck
and Roast
you.
You.
This
imposter
Fuck
is
you,
blatantly
man.
copying everything note for note from me. I mean, you take a good look at that. Take a look at that. Because all that is just this Sonic the Hedgehog action figure custom painted. I can easily custom paint this to look like that with acrylic paint even. So simple. And it's so crappy too.
He compares the appearance of his official Sonichu website with Hill's flagrant imitation, and also mentions the supposed release of Jimmy Hill's "Yup, I'm on TV" DVD.
I better
And
not
all
get
he
something
did was
shitty
take
on the wheel,
every
I swear to
footage
God.
that was originated from this DVD and dubbed his voice just over my name.
rockstar point.
So instead of me saying Christian Weston Chandler,
2,500 rockstar
he
points.
just
That
dubs
is
it
literally
over
the worst
each
thing I've
time
ever
to say,
gotten. What the fuck?
Even
That's
says
literally
in
the worst thing
Bible
ever.
here, the part
Jesus
of Jimmy
Christ,
Hill
this game
is played
sucks.
by an actor.
Rigged.
Look at that freaking cover. It's more based on my original comic cover than the original DVD. Anyway, do not buy from Jimmy Hill. He's a fraud, a phony.
Finally, Chris proclaims that the trolls should stop bullying him because he is ignoring them.
You bullies, I know y'all are afraid of me. Because without me, y'all would have nobody to pick on at this point. No matter how many times you direct your influences towards me, I'm just ignoring you. Because basically all you're doing is basically being unheard of. You're basically talking to a brick wall. And I am just blatantly ignoring you hands down. So you may as well just give up. Your opinions and voices are not being heard. You're not scaring me. Y'all are not scaring Blanca. You're scaring nobody, misters. It's time to face facts, misters and misses. I am safe. I am well, and I'll be staying that way, and I shall keep watch for any bullies. And I will take all necessary steps in due time as I cross those bridges, be they sound or broken. Thank you very much, and have a good day or evening.
It was on this day that the person responsible for the Sarah Jackson character decided to kill her off by assuming the role of her sister and telling Chris that she was allegedly killed in a car crash. On October 14th, Panda Halo created a subsite of Sonichu.net called Sonichu Fans, which was most notable for incorporating an Internet Relay Chat feature, or IRC, where people could gather and chat about Sonichu and other related matters. Over the course of the next couple of months, Chris joined the chat to discuss various topics and answer fan questions. On the same day, YouTube user Icarus69, who was the one who had received Christian's package, showed off the medallions which recently came into his possession. On October 15th, Chris uploaded a 7-page preview of a future Sonichu comic in which Chris Chan Sonichu travels to the 4-cent garbage building but is captured by a tractor beam. He is forced to revert to his human form, which brings his medallion back into existence. Jason's minion, Beale, grabs hold of the Sonichu medallion, but is shocked that he remains powerless. Christian reveals that the true source of his powers is his amethyst high school ring, to convince the trolls that his medallion was not as important as they had thought it was. He uses his ring to transform back into Chris Chan Sonichu and launches a hyper beam at Beale, which also ends up hitting Jimmy Hill, knocking out his teeth. On October 20th, the trolls behind Blanca put an end to her story.
How to destroy one's mental stability.
Icarus69 filmed himself desecrating the original medallion in a myriad of means. He sliced it and stabbed it with a knife, mimicked it performing forced fellatio on a pickle, placed it into a pickle jar, crushed it with a hammer, and set it ablaze, quenching the fire by urinating on it.
My wooden bed is delicious!
End of part 6. Finally, shit. I'm still on a fucking helicopter. I'm in a helicopter right now, so I can't really, like... Sorry, I just hit the propeller on purpose. Why does it stop recording when I die, though? That's so funny. I want to get this on video so bad. Hold on, wait. Oh my god! That's fucking crazy. What is that so funny? I'm going back and forth between why are they doing this to him and why isn't anybody stopping it. Yeah. Bet his assigned lawyer is watching his docuseries right now and losing his mind. Whenever you start to feel bad for Chris, he does something so repugnant that you lose all empathy. Yep. This is what I said earlier. It's honestly kind of impressive how Chris's art just never improves. Chris, I am not a pedo. Also, Chris refers to laws against child pornography as dumb. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's so fucking weird. Stop sitting around on your phone. Can I just buy a, We're so fucking lazy, dude. I love how the troll art is always better than Chris's art. Chris, I am not a pedo. Also, Chris refers to laws against child pornography as dumb. Duality of man. I'm pretty sure he meant child labor laws rather than child pornography laws, but considering what we know now, I probably shouldn't be giving the benefit of the doubt. You really shouldn't, honestly. Still can't get over Chris calling child protection laws dumb. I know, it's weird. So let me get this straight. Vivian G was a persona created by a troll, but was actually giving Chris Chan genuine advice on how they can better themselves? Interesting. How is it Chris came up with the infinite BF theory after meeting like 2 girls with BFs? Yeah, girl after girl after girl after girl was a troll. The infinite troll theory never crosses my... I know, that's pretty fucking interesting, isn't it? Huh? Pretty weird.